All right. Good morning, everybody. Today's date is December 8th, 2022. This is a special meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being conducted in New York City with video conferencing to our Albany and Buffalo offices. This meeting is also being live streamed and recorded on the authority's YouTube channel. We have 23 items on today's calendar. All are package store applications. Present today are Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, and Commissioner Ford. Staff also participating, Acting Counsel Alvarado, Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Donahue, and myself, Secretary to the Authority Roper. While in the meeting rooms, please silence your mobile phones and take any phone calls or conversations outside. No foods or drink. In New York City, the public restrooms are located on the second floor. Again, please silence your cell phones. Public restrooms in New York City are located on the second floor. When you approach the podium, please do not touch the microphone. Items will be called in the order they are signed in, first in Buffalo, then Albany, and then in New York City. When your item is called, please approach the podium and identify yourself. Representatives should also identify their clients who are present. And are there any announcements?
I don't have any, no.
So first, though, we're going to start with a special agenda item in Albany. That's number 721XX. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hi.
So once again, it seems to be becoming a pattern in the agency. We have a longtime employee leaving us for retirement, Stephanie Kane Pickett. I want to thank you for your service to the State Liquor Authority. You're going to be truly missed. You were here for quite some time. We have a resolution that you're holding. I'm going to read from it. Whereas Stephanie Kane Pickett is retiring from the State Liquor Authority's Licensing Bureau, and where Stephanie has served as Licensing Service Clerk, Licensing Examiner 1, and most recently as a Licensing Examiner 2, supervising the permit unit, and whereas Stephanie is known as a great team player, stepping up to assist whenever needed, including taking charge of the refund unit when the agency was short-staffed. Whereas Stephanie's positive attitudes and words of encouragement impacted everyone she came in contact with at the authority. Whereas if the agency had the best dress competition, Stephanie would be the undisputed champion. I think you're probably going to be the undisputed champion going forward. Whereas Stephanie will be missed by her coworkers who have come to rely on her professionalism, knowledge, dedication to her duties, and work ethic. It is hereby resolved on behalf of ourselves and the entire staff of the authority that we hereby acknowledge the exemplary service of Stephanie Kane Pickett to this agency and to extend to her and her family our sincere appreciation for her many years of service to the State Liquor Authority, and extend to her our best wishes for a healthy, fulfilling, and long-lived retirement. And is hereby further resolved that this resolution shall be formally entered upon the minutes of this meeting, and that forthwith a copy of this resolution shall be provided to Stephanie Kane Pickett. She has been a tremendous asset to licensing, certainly during the 7+ years I've been here. Definitely is a team player. Anyone who's had a permit that came in the day before for a party, the reason you got it approved was only because of Stephanie. And she is going to be missed, not just for her work, her great personality, and her sharp dressing, but she was a tremendous asset to the entire agency. So best of luck, and we are going to miss you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephanie. You've definitely been a help to me also as a secretary for a short amount of time with refund unit. So thanks for all the help and good luck.
Thank you
so much.
very much.
All the best,
Thank
Steph.
you.
All right.
All right, so first in Buffalo, We have 1721 CC, Vault House Wine and Liquor, LLC.
Say that number again.
1720 CC, 1721 CC.
Okay, go ahead. Can you introduce yourself and whoever's with you?
Sure, I'm Allie Colvin. I'm the attorney of record representative for the applicant. I have the two applicant principals, Martin Granger and Debony Granger.
Before you start, is there any opposition there?
There's no opposition.
Okay. We did get one written protest. So why does this fit into public convenience and advantage to add another store?
Sure, so I hope you've had a chance to review my written submission that I sent last week. So this store is located in the village of Port Byron. It's uniquely situated in that the next closest store is about 3 miles away in a different municipality, and then past that, the next closest store is almost 8 miles away, and it just gets further from there. The applicant owns the building individually, and it's vacant right now. He's chosen to, and his wife Debony have chosen to invest in their community and turn a vacant store into a store that hopefully will thrive. Not only does Port Byron not have a liquor store, but the 2 towns surrounding it, including the town of Mentz, also does not have a store. So they do believe that they've identified a location that definitely will serve the public convenience and advantage.
Okay. Any question? Nope. Okay, Don.
All right, Commissioner Pham.
Given that the next door is 3 miles away, and then, as council mentioned, 7+ after that, you have the mayor's support. It's a very small store with 512 square feet of retail space. And since you own the building, it's convenient. One of you is going to work there full time. I'm going to find public convenience advantage and vote in support.
Commissioner Ford.
This is in one of those cases where I find myself surprised that there is not a store already in Port Byron. So I love it when people come and seek those type of opportunities instead of like next door to someplace. So you have the support of Lydia Patty Ruffini, the Cayuga County legislator, District 3, and also Ronald Wilson, the mayor of the village of Port Byron, and you have my full support too as well.
Thank you very much.
And Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to approve on the same grounds.
All right. Thank you. You've been approved.
Thank you very much and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Next in Albany is 1721 AA, Belmont Wine and Spirits, LLC.
Good morning. I'm here, Tracy Jong, and I have the principal, Adam Heavyweight, with me today. We also had a submission. This is a similar situation to the one you just rolled on. We are seeking a small liquor store in Belmont. There is no liquor store in Belmont.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt you there. I think we're ready to vote.
All right, Commissioner Pham.
I do want to know what a chief water operator is.
I run the water plant for the village and do the water treatment and make the water safe, deal with the health department, and keep everything up to code.
Very interesting. All right, I'm going to vote in the affirmative. I find public convenience advantage because the next store is 7+ miles away.
All right, Commissioner Ford.
I should just get a little recording of myself today for these. Yeah, so I definitely agree it meets public convenience and advantage for Belmont, and I vote to approve as well.
And Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to approve on the same grounds.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is 1721 BB, Uncle Sam's Wine and Spirits, LLC.
Good morning again. I'm Tracy Johns here. I also have both principals, Sam and Jeff Beckenbach, but I believe there is opposition here, so should they be heard first?
Yes, thank you.
Yep, if those who want to oppose, please come forward.
Any opposition, please come up.
Yep, and just introduce yourselves and
What stores? What
Does it
stores
matter
do
what
you
order?
represent?
My name is George Constantino, and I'm the license holder and owner-operator of Walworth Wine and Spirits.
Okay,
I'm heavily opposed to them getting a license because the area is already saturated with stores, one. Two, there's been no change in demographic whatsoever. And three, I'm sure you have my numbers there. The numbers don't show that there's enough space in there for another store in the area.
Okay.
Just to put this in context too, the area that we're in is very rural.
I understand.
Okay, thank you.
anyone else want to step forward?
Yes, I'm Stephanie Hasseltine. I'm here to represent my husband, Frank Hasseltine, who unfortunately, due to some medical concerns, hasn't been able to work in over a year and a half. I'm strongly opposed to this.
What store?
There are,
What store?
oh, I'm sorry, it's Frank's Wine and Liquor in Palmyra. Now, Palmyra, the population there has decreased in the past 10 years by 7%. We recently just had our only grocery store close, so the customers that we used to have shopping in the area are now going to another town and grocery shopping there and getting their liquor that's near there. So our sales have definitely been decreasing. On a personal note, I'm going to have to take an early retirement from teaching so that I can go back to the store and work because my husband's incapacitated. This store would only be 3.8 miles away. The population in Palmyra is under 7,000 people. And if you consider children and people who don't drink, we're really struggling. And that's about it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Craig Kugel. I own Cedar Wine and Spirits. Again, to reiterate some of the things they mentioned, I've owned a store in Masson for about 15 years now. And again, the demographics really haven't changed. There hasn't been any growth or real major development in the area. In fact, population's probably actually dropped 6-7%. I don't know if you got a copy of the letter I actually wrote.
We do.
There was a letter that I wrote that actually spells out the numbers to a T. And that's what the area is seeing. This would definitely not be something that's going to be to the benefit or convenience of anyone. Their store would be located, Uncle Sam's would be located in an area that doesn't have anything really around it except for Berry Plastics across the street. And again, he'd be 3.8 miles from Frank's, and he's 3 miles from my store. And I'm to the west. And my letter actually says to the east, but that was a typo. I'm actually to the west of their store. That's it. But when you got a very small pie and you're splitting it up between 3 stores now, adding another store is going to do nothing but take business from the other 3 stores.
How long is the drive from your store to his store, to their store?
Oh, minutes. It's right through the town of Macedon.
Okay, because in the materials, it suggested that it's a 20-minute drive. Is that not accurate?
No,
That's completely false.
Maybe a 3-minute drive, if that.
Between all
I
of
know, but
ours.
they say it's a 15-minute drive.
I know.
That's what it
There's
says.
It's not.
Okay, well, I'm asking you.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, and if applicant, they can come up.
To clarify, I believe that point was 15 to 20 minute round trip, not one way.
Oh, okay.
So 6 or 7 minutes each way. So we have put in a submission and we've provided some information from the census about the population of the area. This area, they're taking some of the very small villages and giving you simply their population, but the larger area is a population of over about 90,000. If you take
Excuse me,
this-
sorry. Can we keep the background conversations? Like, can we stop those? Sorry. All right, sorry about that.
Okay, so we put in some information from the census to show that this area and the surrounding towns, the population is actually around 90,000 right from the 2020 census. We've also put in some information.
So how many,
from-
when you say 90,000, Elmira's not 90,000, so how far are you going out?
The surrounding towns, so Walworth, which is Constantino's store is in, and then Macedon is our town. The town next to it, which is Perrington, which is Cedar Liquor, is about less than a mile from. And then Farmington, and then to the north there, yeah, so Walworth, yeah. So 4 surrounding towns.
It's in the first paragraph of our statement. We have the population from the census of each of those towns that are there or within
Can you explain to me why it needs to be more square footage than the 3 closest stores put together?
Our square footage is about 2,500 to 2,800.
8,000.
Our entire
No.
building is 8,000.
You got, well, I don't know if you read your application, but your application indicates it's 8,000 square feet retail.
And 10,000
That's-
total.
That's a mistake.
You have 10,400 for your total building, 8,000.
We own an entire building and there's units within the building. So the entire building is 8,000.
Now, that's
Our-
not what your
our
application
unit-
says.
Then it was a mistake.
So what is your footprint of your store going to be?
I mean, it looks relatively huge.
If you look at the diagram, it's around 2,500 to 2,800 for our unit.
Go ahead, keep going, Ms. Jones.
They've also collected some information from the town and put information on growth and development, some new businesses and some new residential things that are coming to the area. The opposition has stated that there is no growth in the area, so they've submitted some information from the local planning boards, surveyors, commercial developers, the town, to show that there is actually some growth in this area. They're seeking to locate right on the periphery of the Macedon Village area, right near where the aggregation of Main Street stuff is. They would be right on the periphery of that. Some of these other liquor stores are in other towns and other commercial districts. This one is located on 2 main thoroughfares through this area. They'll be very close to that compared to being off some of the places that are a little bit further away. So that's why they think that this location would be in the public convenience and advantage.
We're right across from the town's largest employer. So ABX is the largest employer in the town, and they have multiple locations, and we stated on their website 1,000 employees overall. We couldn't get numbers on that exact location, but overall.
You mentioned, Ms. Jong, in your letter, you mentioned what the population is in these 6 or 7 towns, but you don't tell us what it was and how much has it gone up since the last census?
It's pretty stable. If you look on that census report, you can see the overall numbers. It's a huge spreadsheet from the Census Bureau.
So it's stagnant?
Well, with the new developments, it is going to grow.
Well, the new developments that aren't up yet.
Some of them are up, yes. And they all have final approvals if you look at the town board minutes and the testimony from the town planning board.
Some of them are under construction and there has been some construction already. Some of them, you are correct, will be construction over the next few years.
Okay.
And there's both growth in businesses and in residential units. And I think the residential growth is fairly significant, over 10%.
We have testimony of 1,000 units, residential units going into the town over the next year or two.
Yeah, but I have nothing in the paperwork that indicates that, other than your
Yes,
letter.
there is.
The letter from the town planning board.
We have submitted maybe 30 or 40 pages of information, I believe. There's letters from the town planning board, the surveyors, minutes from the town board approving these.
When did you submit that information?
No, we have that. We have that.
You have it in supplemental, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should be Doug and Scott Allen letters, or they're the town board members.
Report from assemblyman, town engineer, planning board chairman.
I'm not voting for this until I see what the footprint is.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's got your application. Now, there's no way I'm putting a 10,000 square foot store there. So either you,
And-
Do you have a diagram?
your application says 10,000 square feet, 8,000 retail. Until that's changed, I'm not, or you can take a denial from me, one or the other, but I'm not putting a store that big from there.
Can we do the math right now on our diagram and tell you the square footage?
No,
Can
you
we-
gotta change the application.
Can we have an adjournment to the next meeting? We'll make that change and come back.
Yes.
Or which meeting?
Can you do
would
it in
wanna-
1 week?
Can go.
Or
I
you
can do
want to
it in
go?
1 week.
You sure?
Your diagram,
I would encourage you to do it in 1 week.
Yes.
12/14.
that
So
was
over to December
that was
14th.
BB, right?
You
How would you want to?
want the opposition to, are we good with the
No.
opposition?
They can come back if they want, but we don't need them to.
There's an opposition. If you want to come back on December 14th, you can, but we have your opposition on record. The members have it as well, so you don't need to. But again, it's open to the public, so you're more than welcome. But yep, December 14th. It's held over.
Storage, everything's there.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is opposition allowed to speak once more?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to refute that claim
No,
of
no,
90,000 people.
not now. We just adjourned it. We don't need it
You can
now.
come back December 14th and say what you need to say.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Well, how far is the drive?
It's approximately an hour and a half for all of us.
Oh, just let him speak then.
All right,
Can
go-
you,
go
just go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, please.
Put it on
Go
record.
ahead.
Wait, are they?
Put it on the
get-
record.
get-
What do you want to say?
Let's get the
That
applicant
is
back in.
completely false. The 90,000 population, we are all located in Wayne County, and that county in its entirety is 90,000 people. The town that he's trying to put a store in, which trisects the three of us, if you will, I'm to the north and they're to the east and west of him, that town has what?
9270. It's in my letter.
9270.
All right,
in my
look, you
letter.
guys
It
can,
is
look,
the
if
latest
you wanna,
census.
if you wanna just clarify that in writing, it would be helpful if you also submit something, since you guys have already submitted, just clarify that. Very simple.
Absolutely. Where would you like us
Yeah.
to submit that to?
Secretary's office, so that's secretaries.office@sla.ny.gov or the FB supplement. Did you guys submit something to the supplemental
Yeah.
email address?
So-
Possibly.
You got a notice about this date, right?
Correct, yes.
So
The three of us
just
did.
respond to that email address.
Okay,
Okay.
And
Thank
do
you.
it.
thank you.
Do it as quickly as possible, okay? So we have it in the
Because
files
the
for
meeting's next
okay?
week, so.
It's for the
Yep.
meeting for next week, so get it out by
And the
this weekend.
deadline is Friday, so you
In my
guys send
current,
it.
in my current letter, you do have that number.
Okay,
But I will
All
put
right.
something else together and send it to you.
yeah, just put something else. It
All right, thank you.
doesn't hurt.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Before Friday, please.
Thank you.
Can you go back?
Are we supposed to?
Next is 1721 MM. That's Stephen, or is it THIVAN LLC?
Good morning, members of the full board. I don't know if there's no opposition. There's no opposition here.
We did get one letter of protest. Go ahead.
Good morning, members. My name is Jacob Pierkowski. I'm the attorney for THIVAN LLC. I'm joined by the principals, Miralee and Ramaya Thuran. I'm also joined by Bob Heil of SLA Solutions, the consultant on this application. This is a package store application for a small store, approximately 977 square feet of retail space in the village of Tonawanda, or town of Tonawanda, excuse me. The store will be, from what we understand, the only store in the Buffalo area and the first ring suburbs to carry Indian whiskey and Indian spirits. And the neighborhood in which the store is going in is a changing neighborhood.
Can I stop you there? How do you know that?
I don't know that for sure, but that's our understanding.
No, I.
We're unaware of any other store.
I know, but you're making a statement that you're asking me to rely upon, and you have no idea whether it's true or not.
I have not seen it anywhere else, nor has my client.
Well, how many stores have you gone into?
Go ahead.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. My name is Raleigh. So I visited multiple locations past 6 months just to see if anyone else is carrying any other diversity liquors. Pretty much, I don't see anyone carrying it.
Okay, go ahead.
Approximately how many stores did you go to?
I would say about 20 stores.
He says he's gone to about 20 stores to check. What's significant though is that the character of the neighborhood where this specific store is going or is intended to go is changing dramatically. There's an African grocery store, an Indian grocery store, and an Indian restaurant all within a block or two of this proposed location. And on the GIS map, we know that there's a number of stores in the area, but I believe it was the second or third closest store, which is Fadel Alamari, which is 577 Ontario Street. I can give you the serial number if you'd like. That's closed. So we'd be really replacing an existing a store that's gone,
Wait,
not adding anything.
which one?
Fourth closest.
The one that's a mile away.
All right, we're done.
All right.
Donald, we're done.
All right, Commissioner Fan.
Since you're replacing the second closest store?
Fourth.
Fourth closest store.
Third, I apologize.
It's fourth.
It's the fourth.
Whichever one of the four closest stores, I'm going to find public convenience advantage and vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford.
The one store that protested to the south of you, they've done over $5.5 million in the past 2.5 years of numbers that they've reported. The other store, straight up to the north of you, they reported over $5.5 million too for the last 2 years reporting. So I'm
combined the last 2 years.
Combined, yes.
Just so
For both of them.
everyone's clear.
I meant for both stores combined. So looking at those two locations and the fact that this one is kind of in the middle between the two, maybe a little closer to one than the other, but definitely it would be a public and convenience advantage to all of those seriously densely populated residential neighborhoods up in that area. So I'm going to vote to approve.
All right, Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to approve the Alamari Liquor and Wine store on 577 Ontario Street is recently closed. It was one of the four closest stores. This store would basically be a replacement and is actually smaller than the store that closed, so shouldn't really affect the demand all that much. So I'm going to vote to approve. I think there is public convenience and advantage.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next is 1721 GG TJS Liquors and Wine LLC.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is David Dezak. I am representative.
Any protest there? Excuse me, sir. Any protest?
I'm sorry.
No, there's no
protest.
We did get one written protest and also a letter from the town board supporting the application.
How far is your pizza place from here?
It's right next door, same place.
It's in the same plaza, same complex.
Okay. You have a question?
Donald, we're ready.
All right.
All right, Commissioner Fan?
I'm gonna find public convenience advantage. The next store is over 5 miles away. I'm going to vote in the affirmative to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
No reason why the residents of Beaufort would have to go to Geneseo to get a bottle of wine, so I'm voting to approve as well.
And Chairman Bradley?
I'm voting to approve. The town board supports it, and the closest store is over 5 miles away, as Commissioner Fan pointed out.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Yep. And Brian, that's it, correct, in Buffalo?
Yes, it is.
All right, you can sign off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
All right, so next in Albany is 1721 FF, Wellesley Island Wine and Spirits, LLC.
Hi, good morning. My
morning.
name is Stacy. Morning. My name is Stacy Duran. I'm speaking as manager for Wellesley Island Wine and Spirits LLC. I have with me two of the principals, Jeffrey Duran and Jay Duran. And we're here based on our application that we submitted for a liquor store on Wellesley Island, which used to be the site of the old Fine
Is there
Tea
any
Mart.
is there any protest there? No, no
We
protest.
do not have opposition, ma'am.
Okay.
Nor did we receive any.
All right, it looks like the members are ready to vote. Commissioner Fan?
This is going to be a liquor store, convenience store, gas station run by 5 brothers and their family members. I'm going to find public convenience and advantage and vote in the affirmative. Good luck.
Commissioner Ford?
Thank you.
Again, I'm stunned that there isn't a liquor store on fill in the blank today. That one. So Wellesley Island, I mean, I'm surprised. But so I definitely see it meets that convenience, public convenience and advantage, and I vote to approve.
And Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to approve as well for the same reasons.
All right. Thank you. You've been approved.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And,
Good luck, guys.
and Paula, there's no one else in Albany, correct?
That's correct, sir.
All right, you can sign off. Thank you.
You.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Until 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so moving to New York City. First is 1721 00 DeHong LLC. I believe he's just going to request an adjournment, correct?
Yeah, so my lawyer sent an email to you guys saying that he was a little sick.
Who's your lawyer?
Terrence Flynn. And then he has to ask an adjournment, so.
Is there anybody here in opposition to this?
We got 2 protests. Is anyone here in opposition? All right, what do you need, next week?
It doesn't, yeah.
So 12/14. Tell Mr. Flynn I hope he gets better.
Okay.
Because apparently he was fine last night.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next is 1721 QQ, Lou Holdings Corp. I missed.
Good morning, everyone. Robert Romano. I'm here with Principal Ralph Giuliani. Forgive me if I pronounce that incorrectly. We are coming to you looking for approval of his store, which would be located at 1067 White Plains
There is
Road.
opposition. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Romano, there's opposition.
Oh, forgive me? Okay.
Hello, my name is Ben Sharav, attorney. I submitted opposition on behalf of J&N Liquors and Farmer Wines and Liquors Corp.
JNN and who? Oh,
J&N on White Plains Road and Farmer on Watson.
Avenue. Got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Gentlemen and ladies, commissioners, I just would like to state this in opposition to the license. This location has already applied several times. It was rejected, I believe, last year, and since then, in fact, it's...
For cause, though. It was for the finances, not
Okay.
for public convenience and advantage.
All right, well, I think it's had more than one rejection, but in any event, it's now become even less suitable or more unsuitable than it was before. This is at 1067 White Plains Road. J&N Liquors has relocated. It had been at 745, but now it's at 907 White Plains Road, which is
Yeah, but
only-
as Mr. Romano pointed out, that first of all, that's 500 feet, so none of the four closest changed.
Huh.
And 500 feet is from here to the other, across the street. He barely moved.
Okay, well, but it is I believe it's more than 500 feet, but it is closer than it was before. This is 1,500 feet from the location, and then there's the Watson Avenue store, which is just up the road on to the east on Watson Avenue. So I believe that there are plenty of stores in the vicinity. It's not a growing area, and this would not be in the public interest. There's no need. for
Are your
it there.
client stores bulletproof?
Yes.
You know? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anything else?
No, but I'll just say that we also gave a sales report, and the sales were down in 2021 after the
Okay.
pandemic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing out the 500-foot matter. But again, I'm here with Ralph Gilliam. We are looking to move it to 1067 White Plains Road. It had been licensed. The closest store currently is a half a mile away. And he does intend to open a bulletproof store for now. His eventual goal is to go non-bulletproof. This had been a licensed store since 2018. When I went to visit him at the location, several times people stopped in because the old liquor sign is still up, and several people stopped in trying to purchase liquor or see if it was still a store. It was obvious to me at that point that there is still a significant demand for this location.
Was it bulletproof before, Mr. Romano?
Yes,
Okay.
it is. It's sitting there, ready to be cleaned up and stocked.
Not a lot of modification you have to do.
Not a lot. And it's only 362 feet. I know it doesn't matter if it's
So,
360.
and that was my question. So he's gonna have 3 employees in a bulletproof store, and the store's 362 feet?
I think that's what shifts, not 3 at the same time. It would never.
Okay.
Do you want to address that, or is there anything?
Well, the 3, I would be included as well.
Right, no, I figured
Yeah.
that.
And if you'd like to explain what you've been doing the last.
I mean, the way I found the store was like around COVID, the summer of 2020. I always wanted to open up a liquor store, and my mother-in-law, she said, "Why don't you go to the liquor store on White Plains Road?" So I went by there, and I kept going by there. It was always closed. So maybe after the 4th or 5th time, I said, "You know what? Let me leave my phone number so the people could give me a call." When I was going back into my car, I saw someone walking into the building, and I asked, "Hey, do you know who owns the place?" And she said, "Yeah, the guy in the car." So that's when he told me everything that was happening. There was a prescription, I think what it's called, when there was like a ban for 2 years, and he was saying the 2 years is going to be up. I think it happened in 2018. They put the prescription. 2020 was when it was going to be up.
It was revoked. The license was revoked.
Right. And that was right around the time I was meeting him. So I was like, wow, that's perfect. But I didn't go into the store. Maybe a week later, I called him to go inside and look into the location. And he said someone else had already looked at the location and, whoever pays first. So I said, all right, let me do my due diligence. And the lady, there was a woman, she was able to get the location before me. So it was a missed opportunity. And I would call him maybe every month, every other month, just to see how everything was going. And I would check the liquor website, and I would always see that the liquor application was pending. And then I remember it was June, she applied in June, but in December, it was, I guess, rejected for the woman. I called immediately, and I said, hey, what's going on? And he said, he doesn't know, he'll reach out to the woman. He got back to me. She said she didn't get it, and that's how I got it.
Okay.
So,
all right. Anything else, Commissioner Ford?
Good.
Okay.
All right. Are the members ready to vote?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Pham.
Since this location was previously licensed and I don't see any evidence that the store has been replaced, I'm going to find public convenience advantage and vote in the affirmative.
Commissioner Ford?
I am as well. I mean, it's a pretty small footprint. It's a store that was there before, so I'm going to vote to approve as well.
And Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to approve for the same reasons. We haven't replaced the store that was revoked in 2018.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is 1721 JJ, OLIQUOR LLC.
Opposition?
Is there opposite?
Is there any opposition? We didn't get any, I don't think.
They probably would have shown up in Buffalo or,
I don't think, we didn't get any in writing though either, did we?
no.
Go ahead then, Mr. Romano.
Robert Romano, I'm here with I'm very happy to say I'm here with Rashid Owens, who's the principal and quite a remarkable individual who has shown to me to be an entrepreneur who has the ability to open a store. I'd like to address one small issue that I noticed was brought to the board's attention, and that's when he worked at an independent senior living facility when he was 18 years old, and he had handed out alcoholic beverages at that time to elderly residents. I did actually reach out to that home. I spoke to somebody who worked there at the time. She was not aware whether or not they had a liquor license. And again, Mr. Owens was 18 at the time, and it had been placed in the application just to show that he had interaction with food and beverage prior to today. He is a successful self-made business person, and he has a office cleaning supply company with 12 employees. Is that correct? 14 employees. He knows that there was an issue when this store had been previously licensed, which was canceled in March of 20, I believe. The store is only 615 square feet. He will have a scanner that he will utilize for every sale. We come to you for your approval.
Members ready to vote? Do they have any questions?
How old are you now, sir?
39.
Oh, wow. Okay. You don't look it. I thought you were going to say like 25.
Beautiful.
What kind of scanner are we talking about? I mean, one of the ones that's
For scanned driver's license, just if the board requires it. I mean, the only reason
Yeah,
I
but
brought.
they're useless. All they do is keep the information. They don't tell you. They
To
can't.
check-
They don't identify the fake ones, do they?
Is it one of the ones with that, like an app on the phone? that you
Whatever the board would require him
I mean,
to
because the
do.
problem is this is near
Right.
college students,
Correct.
and the last guy that was there told us he was going to be a great business person too, and
Correct.
then decided that his best customer base was under 21.
Well, that's why I offered the scanner. We'll do whatever the board deems required of him. Again, the nearest stores are 2.7 miles or farther away. So it appears that geographically there's a need for a store, and I understand the board's concerns.
Okay, Don.
You know that this location is problematic. Is there another location you can look for?
I haven't seen another location on my route. I see this store on my way home often, and I noticed it was closed for a while, so I inquired about it. But no, I
It
haven't.
still looks like a liquor store there?
It had a sign up. That's how I noticed.
It had a sign up that says liquor store?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't require them to take down the
No,
sign.
no, I know.
And I'm pretty familiar with Scottsville Road, south of the airport. I mean, there's a ton of businesses and head corporations and companies all down that corridor. So I think you probably serve them probably more than you would college students, right?
Correct.
I think so.
Members ready to vote?
Skipper.
Commissioner Pan?
I'm concerned about the landlord being involved here, so just make sure that that stays really clean. He's obviously struggled and lowered his rent from 3,000 to now 1,400, so I'm gonna I'm gonna get past the fact that he was on the canceled license and vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
We all do dumb things when we're 18, right? And some of those residents can be tough. So if I thought you were 23 or 24, like I kind of thought you were going to say, I might say it hasn't been enough time. But at the old age of 39, I think that's way in your past. So I'm going to vote to approve as well. I think it does meet public convenience and advantage as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to approve, but require that he uses a scanner, which is available. There's multiple companies that have them. It's an application on the phone. He's to scan on every sale, an ID. An ID, a driver's license or a state identification card.
I think that serves.
And that
it.
scanner identifies false IDs or licenses.
Okay.
Commissioner Fanning?
Very inexpensive. It's about, I don't know, it's under $100 a month.
Yeah, that's fine with
And
me,
that's
of course.
that's to protect yourself.
You
Right,
can
I was
call
gonna
our
s-
enforcement bureau and they'll give you the names of the companies.
I researched one by the name of Age Visor. It's more than 100.
I'm not familiar with the names.
Okay.
It's you pay a monthly subscription. Okay, I'll see you later.
All right. You can get the cheapest one. I don't care. They're all based on databases that they have that are updated
I
constantly.
think that works to everybody's advantage.
Yes.
So thank you.
Understood. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. All right, I'll see you.
Next is 1721 HH Christopher Street Wine and Liquor Corp. Who's the applicant?
I am.
Why don't you put your name on, are you the applicant?
Opposition.
Yeah, put your name on the page.
The opposition.
Oh, okay, come on up.
Yeah, Francis Buscemi for the applicant Christopher Street Wine and Liquors Corp. And with me today are the applicant's two principals, Komodo Lascar and Avishek Lascar. There's opposition here, so.
Wait, I only have one person.
What do you mean?
You said two principals.
Well,
Is the manager?
yeah, the son is managing with the father, I should say.
I mean, one principal and his manager.
Okay. Opposition?
Good morning again, Robert Romano in opposition this time. I'd first like the three store owners to introduce themselves, get their names on the record, and say anything you'd like to say with opposition.
Hello, my name is Jorge Ruida, and I represent JB Wines on 7th Avenue South. I oppose to reopen that.
Your lawyer's going to tell us why
Oh,
you
okay.
oppose. The one question I have for you is, we didn't get sales for you. Is there a reason?
Yes.
Did we get the sales for this gentleman's store, JV Wine?
I submitted to you.
No, we didn't get them.
Do you have them?
Did you give them to the?
No.
Well, I'm sure he wouldn't have shown up if he didn't send them. I'm sure he sent them. Do you have them, Mr. Romano, or no?
I can find them in my phone.
Something's going on with our stuff with this, because this is on another one too. All right, can you tell us about what they are for the last 2 years?
You want you mean the numbers?
Yeah, the total revenue about approximately? 2020 and 2021?
2000, well, I can tell you right now, for 19 was about 70,000. 20, we know with the pandemic, we went down considerably, around $40,000, something like that. And my concern right now is the numbers are not really going up.
Okay.
I believe we will close this year even with either or similar numbers or even lower, because the issue we have, it's all that people who are working remote. It's very difficult situation for us right now.
Okay, let the other guys go.
Hi, my name is Terrence Bay. I'm representing Waverly Wines. We've been there for 33 years, and just wanted.
What's the address?
394 6th Avenue.
Okay, Subai Inc. Okay.
Subay, yeah. So I just wanted to explain the peculiarities of the neighborhoods with the circumstances of the pandemic. It's a very affluent neighborhood, and when the pandemic started, everybody left. Not because they had second houses, so we were just stuck with riffraff from other parts of the town, and we were getting into fights every day with these people. And when the pandemic ended, they actually didn't come back. They just stayed there, because they could actually just stay there and do work remotely. And we've been lucky enough to sustain, but numbers not going up.
All right, thank you.
Hi, I'm Todd Shannon. I'm representing Farmers Fizz LLC. As Terrence said, yes, a lot of people left town. Our sales have been down over the last 3 years, and we're still struggling to get back to where we were previously. The neighborhood does not necessarily feel like it's growing. It seems to be in the same situation that it has been in a while. And as Terrence said, our core clients have left town, so we're kind of building again, and introducing a new store doesn't necessarily make sense to me and the way that the neighborhood is kind of moving.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I'd just like to briefly read from Paul Nanny, who is the owner of the Portuguese Wine House. Could not be here today as a 1-year-old and could not get childcare. And he's saying he's owned the store since 2009. Last year was, quote, the worst year of business ever. I've never seen the neighborhood this empty. Many regular customers have moved away. 5 empty storefronts of restaurants closed during the pandemic never came back immediately surrounding our store. No need for another store. I do realize this is a replacement store. We wish business was booming. Another store opening would have no effect, but sadly that's not the case. Another store opening will consume one or more of the other stores. This normally I would tell, and I did warn everybody that it is a replacement store, and many times the board summarily just approves a replacement store. However, I have represented opposition where you have decided not to, and in this case, I believe you should not grant a new store, a replacement store, because there currently is such a saturation of stores. You've got 8 stores in just over 1,000 feet, 6 stores in just 830 feet. The closest store is less than 400 feet away. That's closer than a Major League Baseball hit, closer than 25 parking spaces side to side. It's 8/100ths of a mile. And basically the small size of the store doesn't make it any less dangerous, quote unquote, from a business point to the surrounding stores, because they're going to be offering a lot of the basic core products that these stores rely on to pay their rent. And that store will have a seriously detrimental effect on one or more of the 4 closest stores. And again, there are just too many stores. If you look at it on a map, this would be a bullseye in between 4 stores that are already in a very crowded market. Thank you.
Thanks.
Whenever you're ready.
Yep.
Yeah.
How
Okay,
long
so
did you work at the previous store?
Yeah.
How many years?
10 years.
yes, Mr. Lascar was employed at the previous store as an assistant manager for, I think, a little over 10 years. The store is a 470 square foot store with 375 square feet of retail space. The principal of the store that was located at the same specific location as what we've applied for died of COVID, and the store closed down in November of 2021. You can see that this application was filed not long after that. The filing date on this application is February 17th of February 22. So there hasn't been that long a lapse with the store being gone. This store is by far the oldest existing store in this area. It predates All the other stores,
Are you doing any work to renew it?
Renovating.
I'm sorry?
Are you doing any work to renovate, to renew?
Well, it's basically, the space is there. It's the type of operation that's going to be going on at the store. As I said, Mr. Lascar's son is going to be working part-time, managing part-time at the store. He's an IT buff, so he's going to bring in social media platforms to work on, such as Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. The platforms will be used to build relationships with the LGBT community. This store is right next door to the Stonewall Inn, which, as we all know, is a very famous location tavern. It draws a tremendous amount of people to it. Right across the street, there's going to be the Stonewall National Monument Visitor Center. This is a national monument that's supposed to be completed in 2024. This is going to draw, probably millions of tourists from all around the world into the area as well.
The members ready to vote? So, Commissioner Fan?
Since we're replacing a closed store and obviously the principal knows what he's doing about operating the store, I'm going to ask you to consider just making it look a little bit cleaner, just because the pictures look dated. And it would be good to, have something fresh in that area.
Commissioner?
I'm going to vote in the affirmative.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm looking at the store at this location was licensed from 2003 to 2021 for 17 years. Longer than all the other 6 stores together, except for maybe 2 of them that were licensed in 2000. So it became licensed like just 3 years after them. So it is a small footprint. It's the same store, same person running it, basically. For that reason, for those reasons, I can find not a justifiable reason to deny, so I'm going to vote to approve as well.
And Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to deny. I agree with Mr. Romano. I've never seen a group of liquor stores this condensed. This area to me is completely saturated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 within 800 feet, which is remarkable. 8 within 1,000 feet. So I'm going to vote to deny. I just don't see how it could remotely contribute to public convenience or advantage.
Yep, you're approved.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next is 1721 SS M3 Wines LLC.
Yes.
Are you opposing? Are there any opposition?
You're the opposition, both of you?
I didn't hear it.
This is M3 Wines LLC.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Right. Okay.
He's chomping at the bit here.
Robert Romano, but there may be opposition.
Is there opposition?
It's a class change in.
Is there opposition? We got 2 objections in writing. No, there isn't. Okay, Donald.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Romano.
I'm here with Robert Romano. I'm here with Rafaela Diaz-Gittens, who is the principal of M3 Wines LLC. She's just seeking a class change from a W to a L licensed full liquor store. She will stipulate that no more than 20% of her SKUs would be spirits. It is a small store of just 595 feet, 561 of retail. The 100% of those SKUs of the spirits would be sold behind the counter. That she's really not trying to change the overall sense of a store from a wine store, but just adding a little bit to the customers that come in there and want a bottle of spirits with their case of wine. I believe that would have a minimal impact around this for the surrounding stores. This store has been in existence for over 10 years, although she purchased it a year ago with the intention of eventually asking for this change. So we come before you seeking that.
I'd like to note that one of the protests misunderstands and thinks that it's a new store, not a transfer.
Right.
So,
It's not a new store.
And then what, and then the other thought it's a removal. I think they're both confused. What wine store did you work at before this? This is the store you worked at?
Yes, this is the store I've worked in.
How long was it open before you bought it?
Over 10 years.
And why did they apply to be a wine store?
Why did they apply 10 years ago? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, was it a situation, so you don't know whether the board told them they had to be a wine store or whether they asked to be a wine store?
I have no idea.
I tried to find that out too.
I did too, and I couldn't find out.
And again, it'd be roughly 120 square feet of space at the most. It wouldn't even be that behind the counter that would be delegated for spirits.
And we're focusing on high-end
Right.
spirits.
Right.
Like Brooklyn bourbon.
I'm not deciding. Go ahead.
Okay.
Donna, we're ready, I think. I don't
All
think,
right.
I don't have any questions.
What's the percentage that you're willing to commit to?
20% or less SKUs.
The members are ready to vote.
They applied as a wine store, that first licensee here.
They applied as a wine store?
Yes.
And when you got it, you just accepted it as a wine store.
She did.
Well, it wasn't her, it was the people that originally got the license. She just bought it.
So when we bought it, yeah, we tried to get a conversion or a
Right.
class change, but we're trying to
Who's
also
we?
get the sale as fast as possible because we know it would have taken time.
Who's we?
I know it would have taken time to do the class change.
No, you said we. Who's we?
We?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I meant I. I'm sorry.
Mr. Fan, if you're ready to vote.
And you've run without incident, correct? Yeah, the store's been run fully.
I'm going to limit it to 10% behind the counter. I'm going to vote in the affirmative.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford.
I'll go Commissioner Fan, 10%.
Behind the
It's a
counter.
beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a start.
It's a start.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm gonna vote to deny there. This is another area that is completely saturated with liquor stores. There's 4 within about under 700 feet. 5 within 0.2 miles. If this was a liquor store application flat, I wouldn't be granting it, so I'm not gonna grant this.
Okay.
But
Well, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next.
Next is 1721 TT 777 Wine and Liquor LLC.
Said TT?
TT, yep.
I'll just introduce and then turn it over to you.
Yes.
Good morning.
Hi.
I'm Keevan Dano. I'm for the proponents, for the applicants. I have with me Elisa Lorette DeMola and her husband, Luis Diego Lorette DeMola. And I'm going to step aside for Charlie Lynn to oppose.
I do want to know that I did send the members that information. There are 2 applications for Scarsdale filed before this one, but they have not yet come to the board. And then you did.
How did that happen? They're just on deficiencies?
It just with the timing and where the application was located there. One is, I believe, April, and one is like a week or 2 before this one.
Correct.
And then,
And those 2 are on the calendar of January 4?
they're going to be, yes. They're either on the way to me, or I have them right now to review to send to the board.
You think January 4 is safe, or should we?
No, they'll be on January 4th.
All right. Sorry, January 4.
Oh, do the members want to hold it over to January 4th?
Yeah, I guess so.
Commissioner
Attorney,
Ford.
is that correct?
Yeah, because there's 2 applications that were filed before this one in the same general area.
If you're adjourning it, you're adjourning it. I have nothing to say.
How, do we know how close these are?
1.4 miles.
So both of them are gonna be within 1.4 miles?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Both of them are right across the street from each other.
All right, 1.4.
Thanks for coming. Sorry.
Stuck here for
Are
others.
you around, Mr.
I'm a-
Dano? Well, you can push it further if you want.
You can do
Well, if you push
118.
one, are you going to push the
Yes,
others?
yes.
Give me a second, please. I appreciate that very much.
It's policy.
Would you want then the other two then on?
Yeah,
the
whatever
same-
he's
yeah.
available, we'll push
Or
forward.
address as far as, yeah, this address as far as, yeah. So I'll see you January 4th, which is good because then I can submit.
PP, correct?
I will be around, yes, sir.
Okay, so
January 4th is fine.
we'll leave it where it is.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're
I don't think
welcome.
I'm going to see you again for a long time, Commissioner Ford. I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dano.
So long, everybody.
See ya.
Next is 1721 II RTK Wine and Liquor LLC.
No.
I'm opposition.
Aye.
Good morning.
Aye, sir.
Michael James for the record. With me is Mrs. Call
That's the
and her two children as well. I will let the opposition speak.
Charles Lynn in opposition. I represent Roosevelt Wine and Liquor, Inc., which you probably don't have any information on because this is a store that's 0.6 miles on Nassau Road that has a conditional letter of approval.
That's the replacement store, 132 Nassau Road?
It's the applicant's store. I don't know if it's a replacement.
No,
This is a
yours-
replacement. This was a transfer
Right,
that was
of
approved by the
store
authority.
that burned down.
That burnt down, correct.
Yes,
That's correct.
132
Commissioner.
Nassau.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And then I think there's additional opposition.
And you
yes.
have a conditional approval?
Yes,
And you plan to meet the obligation, the,
within 60 days. It's been a long time. Within 60 days, we should be
Yes.
able to be open, yes.
but you plan to actually meet the obligations to actually meet your conditional approval?
Oh,
and open the
yes,
store?
yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Okay. All right.
Now, there's another, but I have some additional information, but I think there's another opposition.
give us
Is
your
that the
addi-
only store you're representing?
Yes.
Give us your additional information. He can go
Okay.
after you.
So, and it's not that much. But because I saw that there was a lot of protest letters, which I really didn't understand, but,
Why not? They're on your side.
No, they
No,
were
that's
sending
about
them
a
directly to
church.
me, and it's the neighborhood does not want this liquor store for whatever reason, but they
Yeah.
have been very adamant about it.
right. But as
I'm
the pub-
surprised they're not here. Is anyone here from the
Yeah, I'm
neighborhood?
surprised too.
Okay, go ahead.
So as the public convenience and advantage, there's already a liquor store on Nassau Road, Dalfar Ltd., which I think is the gentleman who's going to represent Dalfar at 965 Nassau Road under serial number 1171844, a little less than 0.6 miles from applicant. My client's store is at 132 Nassau Road, about 0.5 miles to the other side of applicant. And I put my map and exhibit as part of my presentation. Therefore, applicant would be right in the middle, equally distant from these two stores on Nassau Road. Public convenience and advantage would not be served because my client would be a new store in the area. Approving applicant would be licensing two stores in the same area at the same time. There's no need for there to be three stores on Nassau Road within a radius of 1.1 miles of each other. And there's been no recent population growth in this area warranting a third store on Nassau Road. And I presented the population change, which is stagnant for this area. So I don't think that public convenience and advantage would be served by licensing this new store.
Thank you.
I noticed, interesting, that no stores protested, but it looks like everybody else did.
Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Marshall Schickman. I represent Dalfar Ltd. DBA Island Wines.
So there, he represents the store.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Our liquor store is approximately half a mile north on the same road. Council, who spoke before me, is approximately half a mile south. This you already know. The location of the applicant is going to be at 350 Nassau Road. That's in the same building as a church. I understand that it's a mixed-use building and that church is pre-existing, but the intent of the liquor laws, as I submitted in my my opposing papers, the declaratory ruling was to separate churches and houses of worship and schools from the liquor stores. That is the intent of it.
Is this the only other business in the building besides the church?
No, sir.
So the intent was used exclusively as a church. That's the problem.
I mean, the case law is amazingly clear on this issue.
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted the commission, sorry?
Go ahead.
I wanted the commission to be aware, because in addition to the service of the community, because there's a liquor store half a mile to the north and half a mile to the south. This is conceivably not the worst location, but not a good location. This location, in conjunction with all of the other factors, does not serve the best interest of the community.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Just want to confirm, no one else is here in opposition to RTK Wine and Liquor LLC? Okay. All right. Mr. James?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good morning again. Oh yeah, do not touch the mic. I will be brief. I know that there were a volume of documents and submission on the matter. Mr. Chairman, I apologize for their submissions on their behalf.
No, that's not.
Yeah,
it's not your problem.
Yeah, but it was an eyesore to see when I had to see it. But I did want to touch on the unique factors in this matter. I haven't seen an application of such a unique magnitude in a very long time. And so just a brief overview, it's 910 square feet, 425 square feet of retail, open concept retail space. She will focus on minority wines and New York State wines specifically. There was an extensive list of inventory submitted in the supplemental that her son Ramon here submitted as well. There are two important factors for public convenience and advantage here. The first is the location, and that speaks to the public convenience. The board and the authority favors one-stop shop experiences in the history of granting licenses. And in this particular instance, there is no one-stop shop experience on Nassau Road. The opposition cannot cite any grocery store or supermarket even close to them of the extent of Western Beef, where my client will be located. The second is, and that usually takes care of the public convenience. The second is the public advantage. And this was something that was interesting. I want to read something from a case. It's called the matter of Foreman versus New York State Liquor Authority. It's an old case. And the court in that case said public convenience necessarily refers to the accessibility of stores and involves considerations of distance, overcrowding of present facilities, etc. Public advantage, however, is a broader term, which brings into play social and similar problems and involves the state's general policy as to the sale of alcoholic beverages for off-premise consumptions. It goes on to say that this general policy will address the purpose of fostering and promoting temperance and respect for the observance and obedience of law. And my submission is, in this particular neighborhood, the public advantage would be the safety of this store. I did submit that at the store that Mr. Lynn represents, there was a shooting. We do see that the public, and Mr. Chairman, you mentioned you don't know why they're opposed to it. They have mentioned over and over again there are quality of life issues at that store. There are quality of life issues in this neighborhood. And I don't think any of us can think or any of us can find it acceptable that someone should risk their life, literally risk their life to purchase alcohol. I find that unacceptable, and I think that we all can agree with that. So we actually do agree with the opposition in terms of this is not a safe space for them to purchase alcohol. And so it's not necessarily whether a store will be affected by it. That would speak to the public convenience factor, overcrowding, saturation, and things of that nature. The public advantage here is the safety. The public advance share is just an alternative. We don't, it doesn't matter if it's a different inventory, a different SKU, New York minority wines, whatever the case may be. It's just an alternative to offer the same exact products.
But under your whole argument, aren't you presuming that the owners of the other liquor stores are the cause of the violence rather than perhaps the fact that there are too many liquor stores?
No, so it's, Roseville only had one, the one that Mr. Lynn represents. They don't have any other liquor store. And in the opposition mentioned 3 liquor stores, we'd be the third. They did not know that we were the.
What are your applicants going to do that's going to make sure that it's safer?
That's one. We're truly open concept store. That's one thing. We're next to
bulletproof.
They're not bulletproof.
But the diagram, you submitted a new diagram saying it's going to be a smaller retail area, but the diagram still shows a bulletproof configuration.
No, it's not. It's not bulletproof. It's just separation between the storage and the retail space.
So
we
a
never
customer
submitted-
can come in and touch products.
Touch products. They can come in and touch the products. Additionally, we're located next to Western Beef, which is a family-friendly supermarket. We're not. The other store is located next to a smoke shop, and I have no judgment against smoke shops at all. But it's also across street from a library. And so to have a liquor store that is subject to stabbings, shootings, these types of crimes, and the community has said it. It's not me saying it, the community has said it. And so our store, and my client has retail experience. She's already run a store in Shirley. She already ran a store, retail storefront. She understands the concept. She understands the business of it. And I believe it will be a safer environment for everyone to shop at. A one-stop shop experience that's safe for everyone in the neighborhood to shop at.
Okay, thank you.
And supplementally, reduce the footprint to 420.
Yes,
Is that correct?
That is correct. I am discussing that with them. I think, well, it's not my store, but I do think a larger footprint may be better, but they have the space to reduce it. I know that there were community concerns about the size of the store. I believe the opposition thought we were going to take over the entire cleaners, which we are not. They're being subdivided. And so I think they're responding to that concern.
All right, thank you.
Are we clear that the
Can I just
church
add
is not an issue?
3 sentences?
Nope, I think we're done. Donald, I think, unless you can ask a question, go ahead.
I'm asking, are we clear that the church is not an issue?
There are other businesses in that same building, and the case law is clear that once you have all those commercial buildings, it's no longer exclusively occupied as a church.
Yeah, and I didn't want to mention this, but Mr. Lynn's client, they were approved September of 2021. It's been literally over a year. So I passed by there. It's not done. I don't know if they can do it.
They're still within their legal window.
Yeah, and there's plenty of reasons. There's plenty of reasons it may not be done.
I know.
All right, thank you, Donald.
Commissioner Fan.
Just judging from the numbers, the stores that are open are doing really declining numbers. And as Mr. Lynn said, there's a store that's just about to reopen under conditional approval. So, and with all this community outcry, I just cannot possibly find public advantage or convenience. You'll probably qualify applicants, so I would look for a different location. But for now, I'm going to vote to deny.
And Commissioner Ford.
I think with all the local opposition, and I'm not quite sure I'm seeing all the numbers. As a matter of fact, we're not even seeing all the numbers. So I'm going to vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to deny. I mean, you made a valid point, but you need to get the local community behind you. It wasn't just residents, although there were a lot of residents, but you have the Chamber of Commerce against you, you have the Board of Education against you, you have the Union Free School District against you, you got the Town of Hempstead supervisor against you, you have a legislator against you. Generally, particularly when it's that many leaders in a community, we try to take their
take heed.
Yeah, we take heed to their opinions simply because they live in the community and we don't. So I mean, I'm not saying that it would be such a bad thing, other than the fact that there is a conditional approval already in place. But like Commissioner Fan said, you're not bad candidates, you're good candidates, but the spot is the wrong spot. So I'm going to vote to deny.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Find another place, you know.
Next,
Yeah, I think they're misinformed. I'm not, the whole town. But I have another one.
you
Is it
right,
me?
is it TP Fulton?
Yes.
Yeah. 1721 RR, TP Fulton Wine and Liquor Inc.
If you have, Counselor, if you have new information, you can always file for reconsideration, you know?
Okay, yeah, I will. I will.
What number's next, please?
1721 RR.
Oh, Michael James for the record, for the applicant.
Where's the applicant?
He's coming. Troy.
Okay.
Mr. Pitt, right here.
Okay.
All right.
And then Mr. Lynn, you are opposition?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I represent Crescent Liquor, Jamin Ren, who is with me today. I represent S&S Liquor Store. They had the mother and children are all sick with this respiratory disease, so that she wasn't able to come. But I do also have 999 Wine and Liquor, Jing Wan Yi, who is here as well. Did I miss anybody? You're from where? I'm sorry, where?
S&S.
Oh, and S&S. Oh, okay. The cousins.
999 was transferred in 2021?
Yeah, but it was a transfer, not a new license.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead.
So you don't have all the information again on this application because Cypress Hills Wine and Liquor Store at 239 Euclid Avenue, Cypress Hills, serial number 1339701, has a conditional approval letter dated September 2nd, 2022, only 2 months ago, and it's only 0.2 miles, 939 feet from applicant. Crescent Liquor at 3327 Fulton Street on the same street as applicant under serial number 1325811 is but 0.08 miles, only 437 feet from applicant. 999 Wine and Liquor Inc. at 437 Ridgewood Avenue under serial number 1330512 is but 0.2 miles, less than 1,000 feet from applicant. And the last one, Fernando Wine and Liquor Corp. at 3164 Fulton Street, the same street as the applicant, under serial number 1287289, is but 0.4 miles from the applicant.
You represent Fernandez Wine and Liquor?
I did on another protest. I don't represent them on this.
Are they
one.
here?
No, they're not.
Because we did not get sales numbers from them.
I don't think they received a notice.
Okay.
Because they were pretty good on the other protests that I had. Cypress Hills is the northerlymost part of East New York, one of the worst crime areas in the city. It has that new show on CBS, for its ominous history. Having 4 liquor stores within 0.2 miles of each other would lead one to believe that a 5th store within that same 2-mile radius will not serve public convenience and advantage. In addition, the population change in the last 2 years has decreased as per zip code demographic data they attached to my papers as Exhibit C. An additional store in Cypress Hills, East New York, sends the wrong message to a community which is attempting to make efforts on fighting crime, drugs, and addiction in that neighborhood. There's no evidence that applicant will be supplying any new line of products or any new services that the current 4 stores within 0.2 miles of applicant are not supplying. There's no evidence of increased demand for alcoholic beverages based upon the population. There's no evidence of increased demand for alcoholic beverages based upon the revenue reports from the nearby stores. And there's no showing that the public is not being adequately served by the existing stores. So based on all the foregoing, it would appear that public convenience and advantage would not be served by licensing this applicant.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you one thing. Is your conditionally approved store bulletproof?
No, it's not. It's an open, it's not my client.
I know.
But it's open.
Oh, he's not
It's
your
an-
client.
Cypress, no.
Okay, but you're just
And
aware of it.
and
Okay,
And it's
thanks.
not it's an open store.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good morning once again. So I want to touch on a few factors that the opposition mentioned as well. As you know, the store is 2,500 square feet, 1,100 square feet of retail space, open concept store. My client, Troy Pitt, has extensive experience in security. That is his background. And as Mr. Lim mentions, this area has crime. I think New York City in general right now has a crime issue. However, that experience in an open concept store in this particular neighborhood will be an intangible benefit to the community. It definitely is. Where most of the stores, all of them but one, are bulletproof. I think running an open concept store would be a benefit where someone has that extensive experience. Now, Mr. Lin mentions the population decrease.
My record shows that there are 3 of the 5 closest stores are not bulletproof.
So I actually looked into that. That is not the case. There was one store that
So
is.
SNS is not bulletproof.
SNS is bulletproof.
It is bulletproof? This information is wrong.
Yeah, it was inaccurate.
Fernando is open. So there you have 2 open.
Fernando is open?
Yeah, it's opposite. Yeah, I think they switched. So it just got switched.
Well, we're
So I'm aware,
taking what
and then the
they
new
tell us.
Cypress one will be open, so I'm aware of 2 open stores.
And the Cypress will be open. Crescent is
Bulletproof.
bulletproof. 999 is
Bulletproof as well.
Bulletproof.
Send enforcement to these places. If our records show opposite, then we need to.
No, these answers are based on what the applicants are telling us in their gross sales letters.
3 out of the 4.
Oh, we don't check it against the application.
No.
Okay.
There's a question in the in the gross sales letter, and that's what we go by.
They just don't read them correctly.
Well, can we go in this system and
It may well
change
be
this
different
information?
than what they're approved as, but it's
Right.
what they're telling us.
To that point, if they are telling you that they're not bulletproof, that may very well be in the application, but what they actually are bulletproof in reality.
Got that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just that, I
Right,
have.
so 999 and SNS say that they're not bulletproof, but they're actually bulletproof.
Correct.
Yes, that's correct.
So wait, 999?
999 is bulletproof.
SNS.
Fernandez is not.
And I'm looking at the
actual
gross
document.
sales letters, and they said they weren't bulletproof. So it's not us, it's.
I know.
Yeah.
They're not.
So the only one listed among the 4 that we have that is bulletproof is 999. All the rest are not.
And SNS is bulletproof.
Correct.
The ones that not is the Cypress, which is the new conditional letter, and Fernando, which is also on Fulton Street.
Fernandez.
Correct, yes.
So basically all our information is wrong. 1, 2, 3.
Have enforcement call the ones in that lied to us
Okay.
and interview all of them and find out why they're lying. And if we can charge them with something, charge them.
Oh, there's something to charge them with.
Good. All right, go ahead.
Okay. In regards to population, I did pull up Cypress Hills, their records on that application. And in that submission, the same opposition, noted that the population was increasing. And today, it states that they're stating that it's not, which is contradiction. In fact, the population did increase. In 2010, it was 94,469 people. In 2019, it was 102,418 people, and then increased in 2020 to 100,626 people. Now, this is not something that should be surprising, particularly in East New York and the Cypress Hill area. I did submit documents showing that Mayor de Blasio's administration planned for this growth. Instead of the 550 housing units that's typical over a 10-year period, they're planning to put in 7,000, or their plan was to put in 7,250 new units into this area, specifically. It was rezoned just for this. And this will be by 2030, and we're just in 2022, ending 2022. So we're at the beginning of a development boom. There are several mega developments that are already completed. This is not, it will be done. When will it be done? They are done. And this densely populated area will become even more densely populated. And so it's more important for us to, I submit, to put a store that is open and that is large enough to accommodate people. In Ms. Lynn's prior submission on Cypress Hills, I also noted, and I agreed with, that the store Cypress Hills was not a large enough store to afford the public the necessary advantages of an open concept store. It was only 325 square feet, I believe, which is not necessarily what you would imagine when you have an open concept store. Tastings won't be the same if they're even offered. Displays won't be the same. Whether or not they can touch the merchandise, that will not be the same. And the level of inventory that you can offer will not be the same. My client will have an open, bright, it's brand new renovated. Commissioner Fan noted on a package store application earlier to improve the store, make it look better. My client has a brand new renovated store, bright on the corner, and is centrally located, not in the corner, but centrally located next to a post office, supermarket, various retailers, hardware stores, bakeries, restaurants. That is the center of Cypress Hills and where they shop. I think that same one-stop shop experience in this particular neighborhood that will only become more densely populated would serve the public convenience and advantage.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just two statements. First of all, when I was at the premises, because I had said that this is not one of many protests that have been in the area, Fulton Street is under the subway. So it's not that Fulton Street has access to these major developments in the area, although right across from Cypress, there is that Cypress development, but that Cypress development is in sections. I think they started one, but the shovel hasn't even been put into the other parcels or whatever, anything else. This is not a vibrant community. My client in S&S, when I visited him, said, luckily you didn't come at night, because every single night you can hear the gunfire from the store that's actually in the area. So I think there's kind of not a reasonable characterization of this area. And like I said, I don't think there has to be. It is East New York, but I'm not being prejudicial. You're still having 5 stores within 0.4 miles. Even if it wasn't East New York, it probably would be deemed saturated.
All right, thank you.
Can I just make one note? Our store is not located under, we are outside of, under the trestle.
Okay.
We're not there.
All right, Commissioner Fan, if you're ready to vote.
I like your concept. I just can't justify opening a 2,000 plus square foot store with these numbers really not showing any growth, and yet another pending store that's about to open on this other side of this closest one. So I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm sad, but sorry, but I'm going to have to vote deny on the same grounds. Another store has been conditionally approved pretty much right down the street, and there's already another existing store, so I just can't see putting another one in right now. So I'm going to vote to deny as well.
And Chairman Bradley?
Yeah, I'm going to vote to deny for the same reasons. It's just with the new store already there and the sales the way they are, I don't see the support to add a different one at this point. Thank you.
Okay. Fine applicant, just wrong location.
We take 2 minutes though.
We're going to go on a brief recess. We'll be back on the record shortly. All right, we're back on the record after a brief recess. Next is 1721 LL PM Fine Wines and Liquors, Inc.
As in bean?
And who's the applicant? Are you?
Yes.
Yep, introduce yourself and your client first, and then
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Neil Vasaki for the licensee, PM Fine Wines and Liquors, Inc., 2955 Veteran Roads West. And I'm here with Mr. Mishrecki, who's the actual applicant.
Opposition.
Charles Lynn in opposition. I represent four of the closest liquor stores. Chardonnay Wine at 7001 Amboy Road. With me is the principal, Ushaban Patel. AAA Wine and Spirits, Inc. at 4707 Arthur Hill Road. With me today is Talina Lasuska. I also represent Elegant Wine and Liquors at 240 Page Avenue. That principal was not able to come because her kids have that respiratory illness, and so did she. And the last one is Amboy Wines and Liquors at 6390 Amboy Road. And he's not here to be part of the argument. As far as proximity and saturation,
I'm sorry, so your clients,
my
those are the,
are here is Chardonnay.
a Chardonnay, got it.
Right, AAA Wine and Spirits. And
Okay.
the other one, Elegant, was unable to attend, and I didn't get in touch with Amboy.
Okay.
The public is already being well serviced by the four current stores in the neighborhood. These stores are all within 1.5 miles, and I've submitted a area survey with a listing of all of the stores, which I have as Exhibit A. Applicant zip code 10309 and the adjacent zip code 20307 evidence stagnant population growth over the last 9 years between 2010 and 2019, and I've marked that as my Exhibit B. Attached, I have the sales figures for the four closest stores. It appears that there's not any major increase or even a significant increase in three of the stores, but I do point out that Elegant Wine and Liquor has shown a substantial increase in sales figures even after COVID. So one of the four stores does show a significant increase in sales. There's really no evidence that the applicant will be supplying any new lines of product or any new services that the current four stores, 1.5 miles, are now supplying. There's no evidence of increased demand for alcoholic beverages based upon population. There's no evidence of increased demand for alcoholic beverage based upon the revenue reports from the nearby stores, other than that COVID number by the third closest store. And there's no showing that the public is not being adequately served by the existing stores. I would just add, that wasn't in my presentation, that it appears that PM Fine Wines is probably interested in high-end fine wines. I did find out that Chardonnay, which is a pretty substantial store, has about 400 SKUs of high-end wines. And the other store that has one, she's not here, but I spoke over the phone with her, is Elegant Wines and Liquors. That's the one that's had substantial sales. She has quite a few SKUs of high-end wines, just from the name Elegant. And she also does a large amount of internet sales. So that might be the reason also for the increase in the sales.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Firstly, thank you for having me here, and hello, everybody. Happy holidays. It's always nice to see Charlie Lynn here, and Charlie Lynn has a lot of good things to say, but the fact of the matter is the distances are really tremendous as far as Staten Island is concerned. There is no oversaturation. First, let me start with my client. My client, Mr. Mishrecki, who's a pharmacist. He lives several minutes from the location. He plans to be there 7 hours a day, along with his manager, who has extensive experience in the business.
I'm sorry, is it 5, 6, or 7? Because that will really
Well,
change.
my client's going to be there right after work. He tells me in the middle or later.
What time does he work?
Well, he's a pharmacist. He's his own boss. He works. What do you?
10 to 5 for me.
10 to 5, and then you work at the liquor store after that?
Yeah, and then the hours of the store are going to be 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday. On Sunday, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. And again, the manager has extensive experience working short of 5 years in a package store in Manhattan. And my client knows him very well for over 10 years. The store itself will have about 997 square feet of retail space. It's not bulletproof, no internet sales, monthly wine tastings. And I'd like to just make mention that it's critical that the store itself is in a plaza called South Shore Commons. South Shore Commons is comprised of approximately 5 buildings that have about approximately 40 retail stores with a parking lot. And I submitted an article. I submitted a 2-page memo with some photographs, kind of, this way it could be kind of clear as to what's going on in the actual immediate vicinity of my client's store. So the article quoted that roughly 300,000 people visit within a 5-mile radius. And like I said, it's ample off-street parking. His particular location is 40 retail stores. Now, that's just his particular location. And if I could bring everybody's attention actually to my exhibit 1B and 1A. And the only reason I do this is because sometimes they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. And so I sent an exhibit 1A, which actually shows the close proximity from my applicant's store directly across the street. And when I say directly, I mean directly. There's a giant shopping center, which is Bricktown Common Shopping Center, and another shopping center. I don't know the name of that shopping center. I kind of went to the area a few times. But I just want to make mention that there are many anchor stores directly across the street from my client's plaza. There's a ShopRite, there's a Target, there's a Home Depot, there's a Michael's Crafts, TJ Maxx, a Regal movie theater, a Petco, an Applebee's, and a Christmas tree store. And there's a bunch of other stores that I just didn't feel necessary to list it there. So I spoke about my client's particular shopping center where he's going to put his store, where he'd like to put his store, and directly across the street, the vast amount of big name stores.
Yeah, but they're driving anyway. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not walking across the street.
Yeah. That's true. But I want to. So before I get started, if everybody could just imagine, the Outer Bridge crossing is really what separates 3 of the other stores at my client's store. If you could just vision, being up in the air looking down to the north, you have. I'll just go store one by one. Amboy Wine and Liquors, that's approximately 7,900 feet. The Liquor Authority has it at 1.7 miles. Chardonnay Wine and Liquors, my measurement was 5620 using the land assignment shed from land assignment. The Elegant Wine and Liquors is 5,260 feet. Again, the Liquor Authority has it at 1.2 miles. So 3 of these locations, seem to be well over 1 mile away. Additionally, the last store that I'd like to speak about more specifically afterwards, AAA Wine and Spirits, located at 4707 Arthur Hill Road, is also just about 2,000 feet away. 3 of the stores, not talking about AAA Wine and Spirits, were licensed. They're long established. One is 2003, that's Amboy Wine and Liquors. 1991 for Chardonnay Wine and Liquors. Elegant Wine and Liquors is licensed from 2011. And AAA Wine and Spirits is licensed from 2017. The thing I wanted to also mention, which is pretty relevant in this case, Chardonnay Wine and Liquors and Elegant Wine and Liquors, one having an Amboy Road address and one having a Page Avenue. I know about these things. I think I represented somebody in opposition many years ago. According to Chad from Land Assignment and myself actually going there and measuring straight distance door to door, 640 feet. That's literally 640 feet in 2 adjacent shopping centers. And I would imagine that those are the biggest competition between those 2 folks. And lastly, I want to talk about AAA Wine and Spirits Inc. In my diagram that I submitted to the authority, Exhibit 3, that there's a very, very small sign actually on Arthur Hill Road. So if you're doing any speed limit, you're really not going to see that sign. It's actually not on Arthur Hill Road, although it has an Arthur Hill address. It's actually on the side street. Now, my diagram, Exhibit 3, shows a very, very small shopping center, if that's what you want to call it. There's a little gas station, a little convenience store, and there's the wine and spirit shop, which is AAA Wine and Spirits. And just next to that, there's a laser place, and then there's a Joe's Lobster House. Now, Joe's Lobster House, they put, because of COVID, naturally, that big structure in the parking lot that takes up about 5 or 6 spots. And when I went there to actually look about spots in the parking lot for that liquor store, you only really see 2 spots that say time limit 15 minutes, and then there's a handicap spot. So there's no real parking spots in that. But more importantly, you don't see it from Arthur Hill Road. So if you're driving up and down Arthur Hill Road, if you're not really familiar with the area, you're kind of going to just drive right by it. And then, so if knocking that particular store, off to the side for a moment, the other 3 stores are tremendous distances. They're really just far away. I'm not going to start talking about distinctions in alcohol. Those are 3 nice stores. My client's going to be the same thing. But this case is really not about, some other cases you have to start talking about the discrepancies. Well, I have better alcohol, I have small batch, I have high end. It's not about that. Those other 3 stores are certainly well stocked and they're nice stores. The fact of the matter is they service what I consider to be two totally different communities. One area I call the Page Avenue corridor. So if you get off the Outer Bridge crossing and you go onto Page Avenue, I don't know, there could be like 50, 70 stores, and then you ultimately hit Top Tomato if you go over a little bridge, Top Tomato Shopping Center, and again, 640 feet away is Chardonnay Wine and Liquors. My client, again, is on the other side of the Outer Bridge crossing, well over a mile away, and there's an extensive amount of commercial activity and vehicular traffic in both these parking lots and shopping centers. They're both packed quite the time. I go to Home Depot a lot. I know that area. It will be so convenient for the public to be able to basically be in my client's shopping center, to be able to have a wine package store right there. And just as important, they'd have a big sign, just where everybody else goes, on the South Shore Commons big billboard. And then anybody who goes right across the street and to the supermarket and to all those 9 stores I rattled off, it's just such a small area of where people are doing a tremendous amount of shopping. I think it's very, very advantageous for the public. Lastly, because like I said, I put everything in my memo pretty much. I looked at the sales. I looked at the sales, and all the stores have about 2 months to go. And the way I analyze the sales, for the most part, they all seem to be pretty strong. And I put in my memo, and I don't really recall who I got this from. It was a liquor store owner. When I asked them, tell me about, the holiday season, the summer, when do you make most of your money? In the past, a liquor store owner had told me it makes possibly or probably up to 30% of their gross sales for the year. Now, when these sales factors were submitted, we had at least 2 more months to go, the whole Christmas holiday season, Thanksgiving, et cetera, et cetera. So I look at the sales being very strong, if not the same or better. I look at there's no oversaturation by any means. The distances are tremendous. And I look at the one-stop shopping where, my client shopping center in and of itself is 160,000 square feet of open retail space with 40 stores. And like I said, I pointed out right across the street, the tremendous amount of shopping right across the street. And the stores have, like I said, have been located. The stores are new. They've been there for quite a while. And
Now you're repeating yourself.
And I was going to end it by saying, thank you very much. I think I got all my strong points across. I don't want to be redundant. Had too much coffee this morning. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
And,
Can I just have
I'm
3
just happy.
concise sentences? No, 3 concise.
Listen, I'm not-
No,
Go ahead.
3 concise sentences. First of all, this is Staten Island. So we have 0.4 miles, 1.2. Right, it's not enormous. We're not talking about enormous difference between distances. Secondly, Chardonnay is in a very large shopping mall, which is interesting because right adjacent, contiguous to it, is another huge shopping mall where Eleganti is. So this is really a destination area for shopping and for those two liquor stores. And A&A isn't just one that's just out there, it's in a strip mall. So it's, it's not just different, that's a single taxpayer, well, it's in a strip mall.
Okay, thank you.
Can I add one thing?
No,
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Fan?
I appreciate council's arguments, but from my research, AAA is a 3-minute drive, Elegant is a 4-minute drive, Chardonnay is a 5-minute drive. All the numbers, besides Elegant, which had an interesting jump in 2021, everyone else is at best doing the same sales as 2018, which means that they're all losing money. I don't see growth in consumption and demand, and so I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
Both two closest stores aren't really doing tremendous. I mean, they're just keeping the doors open. So I'm not sure about this either, so I'm going to vote to deny as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I am going to vote to approve. I think that there is a convenience being located in the plaza that you, or being across the street from that large plaza. I think the numbers have been consistent if you take the COVID 2020 numbers out of it. So I was going to vote to approve.
Denied.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good day. Next is 1721 NN YAPHANK Wines and Spirits Inc. YAPHANK.
Did you say NN?
NN.
Did you say YAPHANK?
Yeah, yep, that's right.
Is anyone else here?
Is there any protests here for YAPHANK Wines and Spirits? No.
Okay.
We did get 2 written protests.
Yes. All right, I represent YAPHANK, Francis Buscemi, for the applicant, YAPHANK Wines and Spirits, Inc. With me today is Lalit Patel. He's the applicant's principal. I really believe that this application checks all the boxes on what's necessary to approve based on public convenience and advantage and experience. This is located at 523 Boulevard East in YAPHANK, which is a mixed-use development called the Meadows at YAPHANK. The store is a 2,800 square foot store with 2,030 square feet of retail space. Mr. Patel, the applicant's principal, has been employed as an assistant manager in the liquor store business, Lido Wines and Spirits, since 2015. He's currently working there. He will be leaving that store to work full-time in managing this location at the Meadows at YAPHANK. Previously, Mr. Patel did apply for a new liquor store license application back in on August 18th, 2021. It was disapproved based on public convenience and advantage. That store was Metro Wine and Spirits located in Rego Park, Queens. The Meadows at YAPHANK, as I said, is a mixed-use development. It's a very large development. It has retailers, corporate offices, single-family and multifamily housing. The property is on a 150-acre site with over 300,000 square feet of retail space. There is a Walmart supercenter, which is itself 200,000 square feet. And as we all know, it has a huge supermarket within that supercenter, Walmart supercenter. So we have the concept of one-stop shopping with regard to food shopping and spirits and wine shopping. There are 1,085 residential units within the Meadows at YAPHANK. And in addition to that, directly across the street from the development, you've got another 544 townhouse development, unit development called Colonial Woods Whispering Pines.
Is that in in process, or is it?
No, that's built. That's been built. It's directly across the street from, the road, from Boulevard East. And then you have a diagram, which I provided to you in Exhibit A. I've got data from the developer of this site, giving statistics. That's been built. The Walmart is open and operating. Just about everything is pretty much built at this point. This is at a juncture of the Long Island Expressway and the William Floyd Parkway they both pass by this development. The signage for the shopping center is visible from both highways via a 42-foot tall monument sign, and almost 160,000 vehicles pass by this development every day. In addition to that, we have a huge employer, the Brookhaven National Laboratory, which is directly opposite the Meadows at YAPHANK and William Floyd Parkway. That already has over 3,000 employees. I believe I had indicated, 3,000 plus employees. And it's developing, it's expanding the development, and it's going to be adding another 3,000 plus employees, in addition to the 4,000 guest scientists and visitors that annually go to the Brookhaven National Laboratory. Within a 10-mile radius, and this is more of a destination situation, you have this huge Walmart superstore, you have large retailers, in addition to the residential units that are within the development itself. So within a 10-mile radius, you have over 400,000 residents. In addition to that, over the summer, you've got that Hamptons rush that comes in, and that's going to add another 180,000 people into the area. And you have Exhibit A with all this data from the developer of the site. It includes the statistics from the Brookhaven, as well as all of the residential development and whatnot. When we're looking at the existing stores, each of the existing stores is in a different hamlet in Suffolk County. None of the stores are located on the same road as the applicant's store. Ganesh Corporation is located in the shopping center. I double-checked, and I double-checked the distances. I double-checked them, triple-checked them, the shortest driving distances. I reversed them, going both ways. I think my numbers are extremely accurate as far as shortest driving distances. Ganesh Corp is located 1.5 miles. It's in a shopping center. The business shows increasing sales each year. It's been licensed, or the location has been licensed for 20 years. M&S Wine and Spirits is located also in a shopping center. It's 2.7 miles from the applicant. That location has been licensed for 24 years, and the business does show increasing sales each year. 1207 Middle Country Liquors, also located in the shopping center. That is 5 miles from the applicant's location. That location has been licensed for 25 years. I know Unique Tastes and More put in opposition. That's relatively new. It was licensed in 2021. It's 5.1 miles from the applicant. And I want to bring out that, again, recently licensed, that's the only store that's located on the same street or avenue or same road as another store. So it had no problem moving 1.5 miles from 1207 Middle Country Road Liquors on the same street. So I don't think it should be heard to be complaining about a store opening up in a mega shopping center located 5.1 miles from it. I read the opposition and what they had to say. They're saying that there are 8 stores within 3.7 miles. That's just incorrect. They're using the LAMP data. As we all know, that preliminary LAMP data simply, that gives more of a straight line distance. When you actually do the shortest walking distance and the shortest driving distances, there's nowhere near 8 stores within 3.7 miles, especially when you're looking at The second closest store to this applicant is 2.7 miles. So yeah, the fourth closest store to the applicant is over 5 miles. YAPHANK Wines and Spirits is going to open up a modern, state-of-the-art store. It's going to be having free club membership, point-based systems. It's going to have a bank of customers. It'll be notifying its customers when tastings are going to be taking place. Each week, the store is going to run special promotions on those items that it provides tastings on. Carry-out services will be offered for its customers to bring the goods back to their customer cars. And I think I left out, it's a 1,600 parking space parking lot in this development.
All right.
1,600.
I think any questions? Commissioner Ford?
Commissioner Fan?
As council mentioned, this is one of the ones that all the elements come together, even though it's a usually very, very crowded county. All the near stores are showing some growth if I compare 2018 and 2011. The next store is over a mile away, and then the one after that is over 2 miles away. This applicant has applied before, and I believe we told you to find a different location at the time. And so I appreciate that you have found your spot. There's no other store in this town, and I'm going to vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm going to vote to approve for the same reasons.
And Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to approve. We did just add a store recently, a year ago, but that store's 5 miles away, not 3 point whatever, as you pointed out, which I don't think will have an effect on this store, so.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Next is 1721 PP, Chun Zhang Wine and Liquor, Inc.
The applicant here?
Are you opposition?
This is Chun Me.
Yes.
Right?
Let's see.
CHUN-MER?
PP?
Yeah,
I'm on
Your
the
opposition? I guess the applicant didn't come.
Just want to make sure I'm here on the right one.
All right, well, go ahead.
My pronunciation is not.
PP, right? 868 39th Street?
Chun Mei Zhang.
Just
Wine
tell
and
us who
Liquor.
they are and then
Yes.
hit it.
All right.
Figure it out.
I represent two of the stores that are here today. 43 Liquors, Inc., that's Anna Wu, and Mike's Liquor, New York, Inc., that's Tony Kai, who's with me today. There are other stores here as well. I didn't have an opportunity to put into my record that I submitted. We did get, I just got it, gross sales of the Season Wines and Liquors Corp., which is not one of the 4 closest stores. It's the 6th closest store, which is 0.8 miles from the applicant. And I'll just recite that information into the record. With regard to this is a store that's looking to open up at 868 39th Street in Brooklyn, New York, a 3,400 square foot store with 1,700 square feet of retail space. 43 Liquors, Inc. and Mike's Liquor are two of the closest stores to the applicant. 43 Liquors is a 700 square foot store with 400 square feet of retail space. It purchased the business in 2019. The store carries approximately 1,000 screws. Its sales have been relatively flat, and every year they're under $500,000. Each year since it purchased the business, it's been under $500,000. It's, as with almost all the stores here, except for maybe one. In 2022, its sales as of October 20th of 2022 are only $391,000. Mike's Liquors is a 450 square foot store, 221 feet of retail space. It purchased the business in 2018. Annual sales remain under $500,000 for each year since it's purchased the store. Then with regard to the,
Donald, I think we're good.
Looks like the commissioners are.
I'm getting a high sign from the other two commissioners, so.
Commissioners are ready to vote. Commissioner Pan?
I agree with council that there is no public convenience or advantage to open a 3,400 square foot store, which would be equal to the sum of all the closest stores. The four of the closest stores in terms of square footage. So I do not find public convenience and advantage in this new proposed store, and the location does not seem convenient to me either. It looks like there's maybe residents upstairs. Confused about the lease as well, and they didn't show up, so I'm gonna vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
There are, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 stores located in less than 3/4 of a mile, and nobody's numbers are tearing it up. Nobody even, no one even gets close to 1 million.
Yeah, no.
Not even close. So I don't see any need either, so I'm voting to deny.
And Chairman Bradley?
I'm voting deny as well. As Commissioner Fan pointed out, the applicant didn't show up. He currently works at a liquor store, which I had a lot of questions about. It is an extremely large store for the area. There's 9 stores within 1 mile, 27, appears to be 27 stores in 1.5 miles. I don't see any public convenience and advantage. So I'm voting to deny.
all right, thank you. Have a good day. And if I'm not at the next board meeting, have a good holiday, everybody.
Thank you. You too.
Next is 1721 VV Silver House Beverages Corp. VV? V as in Victor.
Oh, he as in Victor. No.
VV.
Oh.
All right, who's the applicant?
Applicant is my mother.
The applicant? Is it just you two? You don't have an attorney or what?
I represent my mother.
Okay, just introduce yourselves at the podium.
Hey guys, my name is Ravi Patel. I'm not a lawyer by profession. I'm a doctor by profession. I'm just representing my mother for her liquor store that she wants to open up in Smith Haven Mall. She has close ties with Smith Haven Mall. She had been there for almost 10 years. And now she's, because of her age, she decided she wants to do something more so towards a liquor store, for which she has been saving her money up for. Smith Haven Mall, where it's right behind where we're proposing this premises, is a 9th largest mall in this New York state with gross retail space of 1.2 million square feet. And that's only single floor, so it's not double floor split. It's,
Hold on 1 second. I'm
Yes.
sorry to stop you. Is this, you're all opposition, I assume?
Yes.
Let them go, we just let them
Okay,
go first.
sure.
Because it's easier. Just state your name, what store you're representing, and then whatever you need to say.
My name is Geir Fries. I have the license for Wisconsin Liquor in Wisconsin, Smithtown area. And good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. He's not one of the.
I noticed there was a lot of approvals in the morning, and it makes people very happy. I remember when we were approved, it creates happiness, and I hope this person gets an approval, but not in this area. I'm very convinced, and several colleague retailers are convinced that, business isn't going up. Thankfully, we were, liquor stores were deemed indispensable during COVID, so we had an increase then, but our store is down after COVID, down even more than before, and other stores in the area also. So I would hope that they wouldn't get approved for this location, but maybe another one in the
What's
future.
the address of your store?
I'm in Wisconsin. It's less than 3 miles away from Lake Grove, where this
What's the
proposed store. Address is 290 Smithtown Boulevard. Wisconsin.
290
Smithtown
Boulevard.
Boulevard.
So you're down 347.
Okay.
Yeah, we're down from 340. We're south of 347. It's less than 3 miles away. It's about 2.7 miles, actually.
Okay.
But we do have business there because there's a Costco in the area and the mall that they brought up. So it's our customers could either go to that area or they could stay in Wisconsin and shop. So that's our hope. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think there's a rep or attorney, so you want them just to eat.
Yeah, they all get to say what they need to say.
Hi, this is Rakesh Patel.
Please keep it brief though, because the whole group is supposed to spend 5
Sure.
minutes, so.
Sure.
Total.
All right. So, good afternoon, everyone. This is Rakesh
You
Patel.
gotta speak into the microphone. Do not move it.
Okay.
Speak into it.
Just kind of
Good
speak
afternoon.
louder.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So this is Rakesh Patel. I'm calling from. I'm from SV Fine Wines. Very first stores located from the proposed location, and we have almost 1,700 square feet stores carrying all the varieties, starting from bag and box to $8 big magnums to all the way up to the Camas and the cake bread. We are carrying all the varieties, including the liquors, the international, national brands, everything, something which really the people and for the community, what they're looking for is very convenience, everything. And this is very first location from the proposed liquor license. And I'm strongly protesting this license.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
No. Don't
Please
move
do
it,
not
don't move it.
Leave it?
The only reason I'm saying that is
Okay.
because this is very untrustworthy equipment, and if you move it, we may not hear anything. Oh,
Okay.
the lights may all go out.
My name is Ritu. I am from Jazz Wine and Liquor. And to keep it very brief, I think
where?
that Jazz Wine and Liquor.
How far are you?
I'm probably about 5 miles away. But because this is on Middle Country Road and it's a driving community, I feel that, can I move it back? Because I feel like I can hear myself now.
We hear you fine. No, go ahead.
Okay. So to keep it short, I think that that the public is already being served very well. All the neighboring stores there are about 2,000 square feet or more, and they are carrying a large variety of products. Specifically us, we carry all kinds of products, all kinds of wines. We do weekly wine tastings. We have a very large social platform, and we do online delivery. So overall, I don't think that this is going to serve a public convenience and advantage.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Roman. I'm from Just One Wine and Liquors, 276. Just One Wine and Liquors, 276 Pond Path in Center Reach. I am 7 minutes away from them. I think about 2.2 miles away. I'll make this pretty fast. I carry 2,000 SKUs. I have 100 fine wines. I don't really know what they're gonna do differently. I work with all the New York wineries. I work with Raphael, Wolford, Marliclar, Puglisi, Pindar, even the moonshine ones. I offer tasting in the store. There's 14 stores within 3 miles of them. The population is decreasing, and my plaza alone, I have 3 empty stores. I'm there every day, so I don't know what they can, do better than we can. I heard they don't have a shopping plaza. I think they're a standalone building. And in conclusion, I don't really know what public convenience and advantage they'll be offering in this location.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Surinder Singh. I'm representing 111 Wine and Spirit Hapog. So address is 393 Niskan Highway, Smithtown Bypass. So my concern is we already have the 15, more than a 15 store in a 5 miles, and there is one big huge store. It's called Wine Guy. So I don't think so. We need more liquor store in that area. And plus the demographic or the population we saw last year is decreasing. The Smithtown population decreasing 0.33% every year. So I don't know, they needed another liquor store over there or not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you two like to come up and speak, or no?
Okay, go ahead, sir.
would you-
Oh, go ahead.
I present the Stony Brook Wine Liquor. My store address is 2192 West Kansas Highway. You know, we businesses are going down, you know, every year.
You're Stony Brook?
Yes,
You didn't send in your gross sales numbers.
Stony Brook Wine Liquor.
Right.
What
We sent you a letter for your gross sales. You didn't respond.
I don't receive that.
How'd you find out about this?
I have a Rocky, he called me, then we together.
Do we have, can you write down your email and hand it to your stores? Your store have an email?
Yes.
Can you write it down when you're done and hand it to
Sure.
Mr. Donahue, so we
Okay.
have it?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I disagree with one more store in this area, you know. Right now, from the COVID, everybody's store business is going down, you know. Please help us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Here, come. Sir, come write your email down for us.
Okay.
Go ahead. Here you go.
Hello,
Sir,
everyone.
here, write it right on this. Just take it back to your seat and then hand it to Mr. Donahue.
All right, so the premises we're proposing is right in front of the Smithfield Mall, and there's multiple independent buildings right next to each other. So although it's not a strip mall, it's right next to each other. Across the shopping center that we're proposing, behind is the mall. Across it, it's another plaza with Ashley's Furniture, gym, and the only Wegman store in New York is opening in that plaza. They didn't choose Brooklyn, they didn't choose Queens, they didn't choose Nassau County. They chose specifically Lake Grove because that's the potential this neighborhood has. There's 2 Walmarts nearby, 2 Home Depots nearby, Lowe's, Staples, AMC Theaters, you know, where the Stony Brook Plaza is. You name it, Applebee's, each and every store is right there within 3 months.
The Lowe's and the movie theater, they're right next to Stony Brook package store.
Yeah, it's so there's 347 highway. That's behind the mall. The mall is about 96 acres land, so it's pretty wide mall. And there's like a 6-lane 347 highway that separates the Stony Brook Liquors and us. So it's completely to the north of the highway, which is like it's not accessible that easily. The next door north to the Stony Brook liquor license is 3.7 miles north to it. So there's no stores between the Stony Brook Liquors and 3.7 miles north to it. And between that 3.7 miles and within 3 miles of the premises we're proposing is Stony Brook University. It has 25,000 students. There's weekly buses, and I'm at Stony Brook, so the weekly buses, they go to the mall, theater, and the grocery shopping. So there's so much potential in this area that has not been taken advantage of. So moving on, there's the independent buildings next to the one we're proposing. The one next to us, there's a nail salon, hair salon, there's a convenience store. There's a vape shop, there's a mobile repair shop. This is like all independent locals like us who own them. With the Wegman coming in right across us, it's gonna be a huge boost to the neighborhood. Also, there's newly constructed 60 residential houses between 3,000 to 5,000 square feet, right behind the Wegmans and right across us, the street over there. Our proposed premises, we want to serve the neighborhood of Smithtown. And I have like a map here. I was gonna email it to you guys, but it was too late. I didn't find out about it until I checked the status of it online. And south to us, which is the Nesconset liquor store, it's 3 miles south to it. And just so that we know the population we're dealing with, within 2-mile radius of the proposed premises, there's 42,000 population. And there's only 3 stores right now. One is the SV, one is the Stony Brook, which is across the 347. And then there's the Gene Tay, which is in Center Ridge, which is a different town, which is more densely populated than even Lake Grove. And it's almost 1.7 miles. So to summarize, I mean, within the 2 mile, there's 42,000 population, only 3 liquor stores. And the average age is 40. So, I mean, one of the protest letter said it's an aging population, but it's 40 and it has been 40. And I also wanted to show you the trend for the population. This is since 1990, and you can see the trend is actually trending up. So they're comparing the last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. That's going to show a decline. But we look at the trend, because they're comparing the numbers. I'm looking at the trend, and it's trending up.
It's trending up, but it's trending up insignificantly.
Well, I mean, that's true, but we also need to consider that there's only 3 liquor stores serving 42,000 people, because there's no liquor store south to us. And also in holidays, the malls are so busy. Just to get through the street and enter the mall, it takes about 10-15 minutes because the parking lot is full and there's actually cars waiting to get in. For the customers, which is our target population, south to the mall, they have to spend at least 15 minutes to get to the closest one, which is the SV liquor. And that's just from the traffic light. Coming from their house, which is 3 miles away, it would take at least 20 minutes to get to that liquor store, specifically the SV liquor stores. So what we want to do, we want to provide a one-stop shop. You can have shopping at the Wegmans, hair salon, convenience store, vape shop, everything is right there. And that's what we're proposing is public convenience where they don't have to cross through the 96 acres of land that the mall acquires. And we're providing them an option which is south to it. And there's only 3 liquor stores within serving 42,000 people, which is very densely populated.
Okay.
And I also wanted to go back to the 14 stores within the 3 miles. That's not true. That's based on the lamp radius, because I calculated each and every store distant to my liquor store, and then there's not 14, it's maybe 7 or 8. And within 3 miles, the population is almost 120,000, which is even larger population, almost 3 times more than within the 2 miles. Within the 5 miles, I didn't want to go there, but the 5 miles, the population is almost 250,000. It's very dense. It's as dense as Yonkers within 5 miles. I think it's going to be a great advantage for the people living in the south side, which is Midtown, Wisconsin, to have an opportunity to not cross through the mall. And I mean, that's only one competition that we have. The other one is separated by 347, which is almost 6 lanes, 7 lanes.
Okay, thank you.
Do the members have any?
Could I bring up another point?
Yes, briefly, only one.
Yeah, Gear First, Wisconsin Liquor. Just want to mention that the Wegman is mentioned, but that is also known as an area where shopping centers have died. And Fairway closed down a few years ago. And the closest store is less than half a mile away. And they had to cut down size back in 2009. So they're smaller than they used to be. They used to be Fox Liquor.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sorry, I also want to reiterate the fact that this is.
We don't want to see, there's no reiteration here.
But it is, I mean, they're saying that it's a one-stop shop, which it can't be because it's a standalone building.
Okay.
So it's a totally standalone building. The shopping plaza or any mall is across the street.
You got to get back in your car again. We understand. Yes, sir.
All right, so I have one data we submitted also that.
If we didn't get it, we're not referring to it.
I think we gave it to.
Then if we had it, we reviewed it.
They denied like 3-4 licenses in the past in the same location surrounding there.
Okay.
And that's why.
Yeah, no, we have that.
Yeah, thank you.
So the members are ready to vote. Commissioner Fan?
The closest stores are really not showing any growth, and the closest store is literally basically on the other corner of the same shopping center, so I don't find public convenience advantage, and I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
And to that, we've denied a whole bunch of other stores in this area, so I'm going to vote to deny as well.
And Chairman Bradley?
Yeah, so other than Nassau County, which is ridiculous, this is probably the hardest county in the state to get a liquor store. And while there may not be 14 stores within 3 miles, our records indicate there are 8 within 2.3 miles. And as Commissioner Fan pointed out, there's one on the other side of the parking lot. While it may be a good distance, it's still in the same general area. And the sales just don't support the demand for another store, particularly one the size of the one you're applying for. So I'm going to deny as well. Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you.
Next is 1721 WW KAVYA Inc.
So
Did I skip one? Oh, did someone sign in earlier? And then I have it in next. KAVYA Inc. Did I?
What number did you call?
WW 1721 WW.
Could you give me like just 1 minute, please?
Yes.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I accidentally missed it. Zach, we just came up to
Good afternoon.
No, you gotta wait.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, we're gonna go off the record for a brief recess. We'll be back shortly.
Okay.
You'll need to answer.
All right, we're back on the record after a brief recess.
Okay.
All right.
Good
Go
afternoon.
ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. My name is Minesh Patel. I'm from the KAVYA Inc. And I'm here to answer your question about approving my license.
Okay.
She with you or is she opposition?
Yeah, so
No,
we're gonna let you go, we're gonna let her go first. You get to go after her.
My name is YAPHANK. I'm representing the owner. She's away, so
Of what?
so I just read what.
Owner of what?
Owner. Oh, sorry. Sunrise Liquor. Sunrise.
Where is she?
She has a family visit out
Is
of
she in the
country.
country?
Out of country.
How long has she been out of the country?
2 weeks.
How
She'll
long
be
is she
com-
staying out of the country?
2 weeks total trip is 2
Okay.
weeks. So she's
All right.
coming back soon.
Okay.
So it just happened. Yeah. So
Go
I'm
ahead.
here. Okay. So my name is YAPHANK. I'm here to against opening a new store around us because our sales is down, and I'm sure the owner has sent all this information through email, which is our text. And she have wrote, here's my business situation. My business lost 31,238 in 2018, and it lost 40,756 in 2019. It earned 8,186 in 2020, and 10,637 in 2021. I have attached the
So in
4
4 years, she's made $18,000 and she decides to
It's
stay open?
because of COVID involved and all that, because even though the business is essential, but then we have kids and the family, sometimes we just close the store, not opening. So sometimes
How often does that happen?
during the COVID.
Oh, not now.
Oh, not now. Now it's slowly trying to build up, but then now we have a new store coming, which is really gonna damage more. So, and also another thing is because let me see where I have attached the 4-year tax return with this email, and please look at the those
We have the
documents.
letter she wrote, so if
Okay.
you're just gonna read from it, it's fine.
So,
But if
okay.
you have anything to add, you can add.
Okay, so basically is we want to sell the business, but then the property has a new owner, and the new owner is not allowing us to renew the lease for a new, like, buyers. And also, now we figure we're gonna
Well, when
stay.
do you have your lease until?
I think few more, I'm not sure because I'm not the owner, so I don't know what exact, but I'm guessing few more years. And then also it's just because my husband worked at the store, so I kind of know, but I don't know fully what's going on. And so we cannot sell it, and but then we are trying to stay and build up more business, so we are really doesn't want another liquor store to come in and give us more hard time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Things she says about the closing and the family issues in her business, but that was closed. That's why the sales down, But then
Okay, I need you need to focus on why your store is going to be better for that community.
Okay, there is a public.
That it will be publicly convenient.
Yes, publicly convenience. There is a local apartments. All the 356 apartment on the 366 Broadway is under construction. Is townhouse. Another one is the Green Avenue, 66 Green Avenue. There is a 89th apartment. Another is Oak Street Villa. Is all is close to, and my location is next to the cross street to the Walgreen and next to the existing grocery store. So it's publicly convenience for the local residents over there.
And why a liquor store? Why do you want to get in this business?
Since I'm working 20 years in that store, and in this neighborhood 22 years, there is a customer express interest for the liquor store. Sometimes they come and they look for the liquor in store. I have the next door is a beer store, grocery store.
Is that your beer store?
Yes, yes. And they're always asking for that.
Okay.
Are the members ready to vote?
Yep.
Commissioner Fan?
I don't actually have all the numbers for all the other stores, and they're not here.
Which numbers do you have? You have numbers?
We have numbers just for one store.
You have number for who? Your store or all the stores? Just your store. We have yours.
We have yours, but we're missing the others.
There's 4. We get the sales numbers from 4 stores. The other 3 stores decided not to comply.
Given that you own a business close by, I'm going to find public convenience advantage and vote in the affirmative.
Commissioner Ford?
There just aren't enough numbers for me to make a decision. The numbers that I do see aren't very good, so I'm going to vote to deny.
And Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to approve based on the fact that the other stores, I'm going to assume their numbers are positive since they decided not to submit their information to the authority when it was requested. So based on that and based on the fact that he owns the beer store next door, I do see public convenience and advantage to that combination next to each other. So I'm going to vote to approve.
You've been approved, so thank you. Have a good
Thanks.
day.
Good luck.
Next is 1721 KK Fresh Direct LLC.
What number was that again? Sorry. KK. Too fast. I almost did that.
Go ahead.
Sure. It's
Oh,
Mark.
how long you been here? The whole day?
I signed up early, but you never know. Okay. So Mark Oslo from Buckman Law Firm, representing a Fresh Direct. I'm here with Jonathan Oslo, associate, and Joe Mahalchik, who is will be the manager of the package store. I don't know if there's any opposition.
We did get 3 protest
Yes.
letters. I don't see anybody here, though.
Okay, fine. I'll try and keep it as brief as I can. So first of all, this is a removal application. They're currently in existence. They're on the Fifth Avenue in Brooklyn. On Fifth Avenue in Brooklyn, they tried to locate actually very nearby, unable to do so. Plus, the landlord that they're in the building, he refused to cooperate in terms of patching up the building to make it more habitable for them. They proceeded to look elsewhere. They were intrigued because of the Navy Yard area. It's got 300 acres, 79,000 square feet worth of retail space. There's an anchor. I know one of the previous applicants here mentioned Wegmans. And frankly, they are there though. I don't know what he was talking about, saying no, the Wegmans in the area, but at that spot, that is the anchor store in that area. And they, with respect to Wegmans, they bring in approximately 50,000 people on a weekly basis. It's heavily populated in terms of population, no, but in terms of activity, very, very strong. In addition, the projection again is there was increase in local employment from roughly 6,000 to 12,000. We'll stick with that, although the projection is up to 20,000. I know the Liquor Authority doesn't like to look at projections, but in any event, you should at least have that in mind. In terms of local population increase in the Amarillo area is up about 30% over the last 10 years. So in terms of the factors of the use of one more thing, there's also a parking space in the area. There's approximately 260 spaces that are open, and there's a building that houses another 450 cars. Therefore, there's parking for over 700 cars on a regular basis. In terms of the closed liquor stores, all 4 stores are showing increases, including the ones that complained. 2 are really not, maybe close, but not really nearby. The BQE separates them from this whole area, from the entire, like a real dividing line. And also dividing the area that they're in from those people on the other side of the BQE is a number of ball fields, et cetera. So although they are 4 tenths, 6 tenths, 8 tenths, there's like 2 of them in that area, they're really separated tremendously. And even one of the complaining notes noted, they might as well be in a different state. The other store that's relatively nearby, about 6 tenths of a mile away, near the Manhattan Bridge, they are a large store doing quite well, quite nicely. There's one small store that's nearby. They show increased sales. It's a boutique store. Even if you discount if you include the last 2 years, 20 and 21, they're showing increases every year. If you exclude them, they're clearly doing a lot better. If you extrapolate the numbers, you'll see that.
Tell me why you're moving again?
We're moving because the building that they're in, the landlord refused to repair the building and make it more habitable for them. They then went nearby. They actually explored, it can't take long, a good year and a half or so of trying to find locations that were in the neighborhood, a real neighborhood move, unable to do so. But they are very pro-Brooklyn. They want to stay in Brooklyn. So they looked in Brooklyn. They were intrigued by the Navy Yard area. It's commercial in location, and it's got the wherewithal to, sorry, I'm sorry.
What's the actual distance of this move?
I'm sorry?
What's the actual distance of this move?
I'd say about 3 miles.
Yeah, it's 3 miles.
About 3 miles. Yeah.
There was an issue raised by the opposition about the 200-foot law.
About
the 200-foot law.
Yes.
Now, I know that you submitted with the application.
Yes, we did.
A statement saying that the school was 300 feet, I think, from the Flushing Avenue entrance. And that was, you had submitted a diagram by a surveyor.
Yes.
Right. So I just because it was raised, I want to address this. Because the diagram I'm looking at shows 300-foot measurement from that entrance on the Flushing Avenue side.
Correct.
Just to the corner. So presumably the entrances to the school itself are beyond the corner.
That is
So-
correct.
Because we had our lamp measurement had it at 304. I know there was opposition
Right.
suggesting that was less than 200
Yeah,
feet.
no, so if it's, it would have to be.
Right, I just wanted to, address that on the record.
And this is the only store in the Navy Yard area, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Now,
All right.
in addition,
Are the members ready to vote, or?
It's like
do
you guys moved up from like, is it the Park Slope area? Is that what it is where you are
well,
now?
I'll tell you what, I'll
Like on the
have
south side of the Park Slope area.
the manager of the store is able to speak better about the location they're in now and as well as the location they'd like to move into. And if you need information about what they intend to carry, et cetera, you can, by all means.
I think we're ready.
We're good.
All right, Commissioner Fan?
As council mentioned, most of the closest stores, despite the distance, are actually on the other side of the BQE, which is not convenient. And I think there is a lot of growth in this Navy Yard area, and I'm gonna vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to approve under the same reasons.
And Chairman Bradley?
I vote to approve.
All right.
Thank you. Just one small note, Commissioner Ford, thank you for serving the state of New York. I understand you're leaving us, retiring, I don't know, that's the right word for it, but I appreciate the efforts you've made on behalf of all my clients. Whenever I've appeared before, you've always been a gentleman, and I thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Have a
Have a
good
good
day.
holiday.
All right.
Thank you.
So I
Nice
have
holiday.
Thank you.
no other, okay, he's with them. Okay, so I have no other applications.
We
John?
got 4 applications that nobody showed up for?
Yeah.
Two were by the same representative, and they're kind of connected to each other.
Why do I think I have 4? Which ones?
I have D, D, E, E, and U, U.
You have D, D, E, E, and U, U. What happened to PP?
We did that.
Okay. All right, well then let's do it.
All right, so 1721
Who's the rep
DD.
that we're talking about?
A former chairman of the authority. He represents DD and EE.
I don't know who that is.
So 1721 DD, Nicholas Tyler,
Look in the
Nicholas Williams.
E, E?
DD, D as in dog, and EE.
So just so the members know, for DD and EE, they are separated by 10 miles. There is a store that's, I think, in between that is opposing one of them.
Yes, but the closest store on DD is 8.5 miles
Yes.
away, whereas the closest store on EE is 1.8 miles away. So we'll do DD first, because I think that's a no-brainer.
I'm gonna vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm sorry, the next store is 8.5 miles away, so I'm gonna find public convenience advantage.
Say approve, Commissioner Ford?
Approve, yes.
And Chairman Bradley?
And I'm gonna approve as well, just purely based on the distance. I think there's clearly a public convenience and advantage to having a store closer than 8.5 miles.
Hannibal deserves a store. There you go.
Correct.
1721 EE is Fine Spirits LLC. Commissioner Fan?
This is a different argument.
Yeah, this is on the other side of Fulton.
They really should have shown up.
But it's not really relative to the other one we just talked about.
No, I just mean they should have showed up because they do clearly have competition. Where's the music coming from?
Outside.
Outside, because they're starting to do the Christmas.
Is Santa
then-
coming?
And then there is something about someone else filed.
No,
a
that's
store.
that's the one we just did.
Oh, that's the one we just did.
But they're 10 miles
So
apart.
they
It's not really
share They share, because of the distances, they share two of the closest stores. Or two of the kind of closest stores.
So it looks like Fulton already has 3 stores in the town already.
Yeah, so I'm gonna vote to deny, as Chairman said.
Commissioner Ford
Yeah, I'll vote to deny as well.
and Chairman Bradley.
I'm gonna vote to deny as well. And the fact that they're not here to answer questions certainly is not helpful, but there is already 3 stores within the town itself, which I think is sufficient at this point.
Next is 1721 UU Hurleyville Wine and Spirits LLC.
I had some questions about their local nexus to this location. One of the applicants lived in Bahamas, and the other one shows an address in Manhattan. The fact that they didn't show up perhaps proves my point, so I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
You know, had they shown up, I might have been persuaded to vote for them for Hurleyville, but I'm going to vote to deny as well.
and Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to deny as well. I had questions for the applicants, and nobody came. In Sullivan County, it's not that difficult to get to Albany or New York to show up for a hearing.
All right, so I have nothing else. Chairman, do you have anything?
No, I don't. Thank you. Thanks for doing this special meeting.
Thank
One
you.
more with Ford,
Meeting is adjourned.
and then it's over.